Uh, pardon being late. It was a technical difficulties I had to deal with. So yeah, this has been a while. Also, I saw you, Rex. Hi. I don't know if you're still here, whether you got bored and fucked off, but I am live now. So, uh, uh, man, I'm fucking tired. Being 40 years old sucks. You're always tired all the time, and you know you you you, you never you might never go sleep that well. You ever go to sleep early or late? Uh, ACC, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a while since I've gone fuck things up. Na, 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 na. Uh, I guess we'll wait until some more people show up. Thanks for stopping by, of course, CC. I'm just now getting off 14-hour days or long. Oh, wow. What do you do again? Like, working for 14 hours is fucking insane. What the fuck do you do? Like, you might need a better career if you work like 14 hours. A crane operator. Oh, well, I, I hope it pays at least well enough. Excuse me. Let's see. Uh, I can't believe it's like 59 degrees Celsius outside. Sorry, Fahrenheit. 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, what is Celsius? Huh. Oh, right, yeah. Hold on. A link shall be cropped. I mean, dropped. Ugh. There you go, Rex. Yeah, well, I mean, as long as you make good money. But yeah, 14-hour days are just like, ooh, that is definitely bad. Yep, a drop in the bucket, a bucket of drops. Clockwork Rex, the Rex of the clocks. I know what everyone is. Mm. Do 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 do. And there he is. Hello.
I finally made it. Where
Yes,
the hell you been, man?
I've been around. Been on other people's streams and just doing my own stuff.
Fair enough.
This is like a rarity for me.
So
Uh,
how did things go in your part of the YouTube universe? I guess multiverse or however you want to put it. Yeah, Mister
hmm,
I am Iron Man. Snap. Let me fix all this shit.
yeah, I am Iron Man. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, nothing much. Been on a few streams. Just nothing
I've
much.
seen you around. I've seen you around. I've been around too myself when I can. Real
Yeah,
life happens, and yeah.
we need more people watching. There's only two, and we need more people on panels.
You've only been on for 6 minutes, man. You'll be okay. You got
True.
to give it time. Yeah. You know how YouTube is. Nobody
Yep.
gets notifications. Yeah. Well, I got yours. It was like yeah, live in 30 minutes. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, I had some like technical difficulties to deal with, so it took a while.
Well, fair enough. Everything seems to be going haywire nowadays.
Yeah, tell me about
Technology.
it.
Yeah. Technology, people, you know, nature. So,
The world is going insane, especially America.
well, I feel like it's always been that way. We're just now catching up. We're
True.
just now noticing how crazy everything is. And it's getting crazier.
Yep, crazy like a Mexican.
The,
The world is a vampire.
the world is a vampire. Dun. Oh, that's the opening song for Black Adam.
Oh, that was an opening song for Black Adam.
Black Adam, yeah, The Rock, Black Adam, yeah, that's dun. The world is a vampire. Dun. Yeah,
Well, I mean, the world will fuck you up and suck you dry. So yeah,
it'll bleed you slow.
yeah.
Rub salt in the wound if it can.
Here I am,
Oh, well,
hanging on a hurricane or something. I don't know.
oh, here I am, rocky like that. Anyway, um, are you like paranoid about playing music?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. Everybody is now. I
Well,
don't
blame
understand.
YouTube.
Well, hey, look. If they deem it worthy of taking down, then fair enough. But I don't get a strike for it. As long as I don't get 3 strikes, I'm not out. But I may or may not have a backup channel, just in case. Just in case. Oh, I do need to change the avatar for it though. Um, it'll be this. Wait a minute. Edit audio avatar.
Nice.
And well, you've seen this before, I'm sure.
That is cool looking. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the name of my backup channel. Except it doesn't have the devil avatar. It's got a creepy ass looking Muppet. Well,
Muppets.
yeah, his name is Uncle Deadly, and he is the creepiest Muppet. They made it. Vincent Price came on the Muppet Show and Alice Cooper, and so they made the creepiest Muppet they could think of, and they were all like tripping balls when they made it. So yeah, he's like this lizard gargoyle thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he doesn't have wings. He's just a weird looking. Google it. Google the image of Uncle Deadly. You'll see it.
Nah, I
Well,
trust ya.
I got one right here. I got one right here. All right, that's my backup channel. That's the avatar for my backup channel.
Nice. That looks gay.
Well,
Shadow
fair enough.
Rex. I love that. Shadow Rex. Rex of Shadows.
Exactly.
And let's invite Serb to this party if he's around. Uh,
But we'll go
there we
back.
go.
I like this.
Serb. Herb. Worf. Work. Work. I don't know. Figure what the hell, I'd go live because I'm bored.
Well, fair enough. Hey, look, I figured I'd hop up and not let you leave you swinging in the wind and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But Shadowbreaks does go better with this Shadow Devil. So, yeah, I get it. But Uncle Deadly's purple, so that's close enough.
here I am, riding on a hurricane. I don't know. I don't know the this song. I'm in love with the stripper.
I was one. It
Were
didn't work
you?
out.
Were you really? Were you really a male stripper?
No, I was in love with the strip.
Oh, hmm. I'm guessing it didn't really work out.
No, it didn't work out well. But I was young and I was dumb. So there's that.
The young and dumb. The triple. No, sorry, the double header. Oh, wow, Mikey hasn't been here in a while.
Oh,
Well, Mikey, I do have the link somewhere. Although let me, guess I should go back to YouTube and pin it, even though it should still be in the chat considering it's not that active.
oh, hey, Mike. You,
Oh, and Richard is here too. Goody. Now it's the party. Sorry about that. I need to go to my YouTube channel. What the fuck am I? Oh, video channel. There we go. It's been a while. The link is pinned up. And there's somebody who shall. Oh, hello. Richie, Rich. How you doing?
I am better than I deserve. Gentlemen, how are you?
fair enough.
Well, I'm fine. I'm definitely better. I'm definitely better than I don't deserve. Wait, that came out wrong. But you know what? I'm just as good as I deserve. So fuck you.
Okay. And you have a oh, there you go. I found him.
Whoops. Whoops. Sorry about that. Whoop. There it is. How you guys
Yeah,
doing,
so-
man? How's it
well,
going?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Richard is fine. Jesus is fine. Oh wait,
No,
I don't believe in
I'm not.
Jesus.
I'm not fine. I'm getting fine. I've been dropping weight pretty quickly. Been working too much, and not eating enough, so I'm getting fine.
Well, my wife is losing more weight than I am. So that's
Did she
something.
have a baby or?
No, 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 no. Last year she had a hernia operation, but we found two of those, not just the one that she needed to have out. Otherwise, she would have died. So, no, she's
Oh,
lost over 150 pounds, gentlemen. This is,
happy for her and you.
yeah.
If
Well, I
it's
mean, I've lost 40 myself, but gosh dang, guys. I mean,
I lost over 50 at this point. So
well,
yay, more to
congrats
go
on
though.
that, man. You know how hard, you know what? Here's the thing women can lose weight a lot faster because they have tried and true methods, whereas men is just like, what? You want me to drop 50 pounds? You know how hard that is, especially if you love
well,
food like I love
Women
food.
have more muscles than women.
Yeah, exactly. But they have more muscles too.
Hey
They do.
Bond.
Hey,
well,
Bond.
they have different muscles, but males on average have a higher mass of muscle.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Also,
Yeah.
I think Mikey ran Clockwork Rex off. So good job with that.
I'm so sorry.
Apparently,
Okay.
jeez, Mikey, why'd you do that?
Wasn't
Yes.
my fault.
Everything is your fault, even when it's not.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I ran somebody off. See, my beautiful wife. Yeah, no. They said I ran off somebody from the panel. If that were true, I would probably ran off every single friend I've got, or if you can count them all on my one hand or two hands, if that much. But it's good to see you, Bond. And Demolish, yeah, great to see you. And
I mean,
hope
it's
you have
good to
that.
see you too. I'm not casting any aspersions on the nature of your wish, your if you're genuine or not. But do we know each other?
I think we do. A long time
You-
ago, though. I mean, we know each other through
Long,
Christian
long time
Carpenter.
ago. But he can
I can
still
still
remember when
remember how the music used to make me
Mikey and
sing.
Richard used to talk.
Yeah, we used to. But
But
I saw Christian Carpenter, and I said, "Dude, I haven't seen you at a coon's age." I mean, it's been a long time.
precisely
And
how long
he,
is a coon's age?
do we really know?
Well, I think their estimated lifespan is something around 10 years.
Oh yeah,
Have to
maybe that's
Google
true.
that.
Yeah. Wow. It really can go that small? I really do need to brush up on my StreamYard. Jesus, man, I didn't know that was gonna do that. Oh no, but it's great to see you guys. Really, seriously.
Yep, it's
Um,
great to see me too.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's short. 2 to 3 years.
Oh really? Wow.
That's all they get.
No, that's not long. Yeah. Hmm.
We need to find out ways to extend our own lives.
If
You
we
know,
can.
I'm concerned with human life. Not so concerned with raccoon life. Nothing personal, to your blonde raccoon. Yeah,
Richard has always been a speciesist.
I
Yeah.
am. I'm a severe speciesist. As a matter of fact, I care about human beings and not much else,
Mm,
except for things that can harm us. Of course,
of
concerned with
course.
that.
Okay, a coon's age, what you say?
Yeah.
It's actually a hound dog.
Oh, right. She's talking about a hound dog. And how long can a
Ain't nothing
hound
but a
dog live?
hound dog barking all the
And
time.
what is it she's trying to say about a hound dog?
Well, she's just saying that a hound dog can live only a certain amount of time.
Yes, a hound dog's life expectancy is something about 11, maybe 12 years at the most.
Yeah, that's true.
Meanwhile, naked mole rats live up to be 40
11 or
years,
12
years
years
old.
at the most, he said.
I'm reading what it says. A hunting dog useful hunting age is about 4 to 5 years. Hence the phrase a coon's age would be ridiculous to refer to American lifespan and being anything different from any other human being. So
Oh.
about 4 to 5 years for a coon's age.
Oh, thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
I told you, she's smarter than I am.
She at least knows how to look things up. I can
Oh,
tell
yeah,
that.
she's good at that. She's real good at that. Yeah.
I doubt she
Okay.
authored that quickly. May
No,
have.
no. Took
I don't
a
know.
while
Does she
to
just
find out.
speak? Does she just speak in those kinds of terms?
Well, she speaks in very intelligent way of terms, so you know.
Okay.
You know what we found out too? We found out that her position, she's with the Universal Life Church, so she is what they call back in the day. They used to call them a circuit preacher, which means that she can actually, by law, she's allowed to go to other religions' ceremonies or conduct one of her own. And like a wedding or a birth or a death or anything. So
Well, if you start your own church and register it, you can declare yourself a preacher, and then by
well, that's
law
what she
you
is.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, and she is Universal Life Church. They have some association with the Roman Catholic Church, which I heard, and then my mother, like, this is really weird. The first time that my mother heard that she was this kind of minister, and she says, "Oh yeah, we know these Universal Life Church ministers." I said, "Mom, this is new. You never told me this before, that we actually knew them or knew of them." And she says, "Oh yeah, we're friends with a lot of them." Yeah, so interesting. I was like, "Okay, Mom, something new I never knew before." But thank you, Mom. Yeah, hello, Christian. Welcome back, sir. Richard and Mikey, good to see you tonight. It is very good to see you, Christian Carpenter. You're a good friend. We're celebrating this may not seem like a lot, gentlemen, but Suzanne and I are celebrating 250 plus subscribers tomorrow. Family subscribers. We consider them family. And Christian Carpenter, good to see you, my friend, because you are one of the first that believed in us and added your growing name to all of the subscribers in the early times. Yeah. And it's officially been over 2 years since I started doing this streaming thing. So, yeah, thank you,
He
Christian.
believes in love. He believes in babies. He believes in Mike and his show.
Yeah, he does. Wow. I guess I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, and Bond also. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, but if you're really excuse me, Jesus, I'm really in bad way here. Bond, yeah, okay. Body fat, considering if I was an athlete, yes, that'd be true if I had built up some muscle mass. But see, the thing is, well, first of all, I have type 2 diabetes. And second of all, I can really only get around a building nowadays. All I can do is walk around with my walker, for rehab, because my legs are both shot, They really are. I can't get around very
Why
often.
are your legs both shot?
Oh well, that's my fault. I ate a lot of bad food down in the day, and I really didn't watch my weight for a while. I was a lonely man. I had gone at one point in life. I had gone through 2 previous divorces, which didn't turn out well, and and I had to find somebody, and this was back in early 2010, and I just got back summer of 2009 and went to visit a few friends, very close friends I know through YouTube and so forth. But I got to meet them, for the first time live, in person. And I thought that was great. And they both lived in the Washington State area. So in March of 2010 was the first time I got acclimated with Facebook. So I went on Facebook for the first time, and that's where I discovered Suzanne. She was actually on an app I think it was called Yoville. Yeah, Yoville, and there was Farmville, and these were just game apps, But that was the first time we met,
And we both
and
lived happily ever after ever since the end.
exactly. Yeah, we've been together for 15 years. Can you believe that? 15 years. I had
Oh,
never
should
had
I
a
believe
relationship
that?
that long. Well, yeah, you
Do you have any
should.
proof of? Do you have any proof? Do you have any evidence of that? Perhaps some kind of citation. I mean, I was really
Yeah.
willing to believe it until you said, "Can you believe it?" Now I'm doubting it.
No, no, no. Please,
We will
please.
doubt it. We
With
will
faith,
doubt it.
believe it. Yeah, don't doubt it. Please don't doubt it. Yeah. No, I mean we just recently celebrated it online here. We did a celebration back on, last month on March 1st here of 2025, and we got a lot of great response. I said, well, my dad said I should never try Facebook. Of course, he was the one who said I should never try MySpace, and I never did that. But I mean, I wanted to try Facebook. I wanted to. Okay, I'll tell you guys. This was true. I tried to get a hold of my previous classmates from like grade school all the way to like high school, even a few friends I knew in college, and some of them became members of Facebook. So back in the day, I was like, well, let's see if I can find some friends, and I did. I did manage to find some old classmates, some cool people, and then of course that's the first day I met this beautiful woman online, and well, who knew that like 15 years ago, first of all, she's from Canada. She's a native. She was born in Newfoundland, and I was born in California, but I was living in Arizona at the time. And basically, long story short, we got together. She came down, and
Rachel,
my
she's from Canada. I'm not sure we should believe him. I'm sorry. I was just
oh no,
thinking.
no, that's okay. Well, no. What happened was she came down. In fact, our wedding anniversary is coming up here in another 15 days. We were born on April. Excuse me. We were married on April 19th. Down in the States. We were married in a civil ceremony clubhouse. What the fuck am I saying? Sorry, didn't mean to drop that F.
You know what?
Courthouse.
You can curse as much as you fucking want on this channel. You fucking basically, I don't give a shit.
Okay, okay. Well, my parents at the time were church Eucharistic ministers, for the Catholic Church, and they can also witness weddings at the courthouse. So Suzanne and I, we went and got married, which has been it'll be 9 years. This, like I said, this coming 19th of April, and
You said you've
and
been married
then
for 15 years.
what's that?
So you said you've been married for 15 years.
Well, we've been a couple for 15 years, but we've been married officially for 9 years.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, we built up our relationship over 6 years and then got married. So in 2016. So that was a lot of fun. And the fact that my parents being ministers, so they got to witness, and we were married by a judge with the last name, I kid you not, guys, of Macbeth. So it was something straight
I'm
out
sorry,
of a
what?
Shakespearean.
Macbeth or Macbeth?
Macbeth.
Macbeth,
Macbeth. Yeah, like
like the
Macbeth.
play, like the
Well, not like the
Shakespearean.
play. Well, yeah, the Shakespeare play, right? But yeah, I mean, that was her last name, right? We never knew what her first name was. We just knew what her last name was. And in our ceremony, she actually quoted a Shakespearean love soliloquy verbatim by heart, memorized it. Like she had done this for a lot of other previous, when she would do her ceremonies, the wedding ceremonies there in the courthouse, she would quote this soliloquy by heart. And I was like, wow, made me cry. I don't know. I mean, I consider myself a pretty strong man, but when it comes to something like
What are
that,
you saying that on your wedding day you were overly emotional?
I got overly emotional. Yeah, it was weird. Well, I've been married twice before and not as emotional. I mean, I
Maybe this
don't want to
time
talk
you
about those
really,
3 days.
really
This I
heartfelt
won't.
meant it.
Yes, heartfelt meant it. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was the most craziest thing I've ever felt. And my dad started crying. I'm like, Dad, what? It's all right, son. He's telling me it's all right, son. It's all right, Mike. And I'm like, oh God. And then I look over. It's sitting in one of the aisles. There is my mom and Suzanne, and she is They're both laughing their head off. And I was like, whoa, okay.
What
I
would be the funny?
just
What would
never
be the
seen
funny
that
thing?
before. Well, no, I'm just saying it was funny, but I mean, and it was fun. I mean, no, it was great. We had to wait for my folks because, considering, at the time, like I said, they're Eucharistic ministers. Well, now they're Carmelite ministers in the church, but at the time, they're allowed to also preside as witnesses. So Judge Macbeth asked them really nicely. She said, "Would you like to, stay around and witness a couple more weddings?" And they said, "Sure." So my parents witnessed a family wedding. This was like had kids and everything involved in it, and then another one which was just a few people, and a few other family members, and like another couple. So that day, not just us, me and Suzanne, but the other two couples. So yeah, three people that day. Well, you know how God works in threes. So it was just weird. It was ironic, but yeah,
I've
it
never
was
noticed
fun.
God
Yes.
working in threes. What does that mean?
That's well, when you notice that when people, yeah, when God takes certain people, certain celebrities or things like that, you see them all drop like flies within like a 3 day, span or something like that. That's when we say God takes people in threes. They take all these different people. So, from life, it's just it's a common thing. I mean, it's weird because you see a lot. It's funny. In certain years, you see more people pass away, say in one year, than you do like previous years. So I don't know. It's to me, it's just a mystery, and I leave it that way. I don't think it's meant to mean anything, but I mean, when you see real good people, you know, certainly say musicians or athletes or something,
What's
and all of
your
a sudden they,
Mikey? What's your opinion on Hebrew gematria within the text of the Bible, where the number three has an intrinsic meaning that is not a numerical sequence?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I've seen that. I mean, I've read about that. So yes, it does. It has the number three has a much more um it's a developed number. It's mentioned so many times, um, but it does have different. Well, I guess the best thing I can say is it has different meanings to me, anyway. I mean, it does to everybody, to other people, but to me, it has
Would you
different
happen to
meanings.
be aware of what the number three represents in gematria?
Yeah, to a degree, but if you would love to enlighten me, please do.
I have a list here somewhere. Let me find it.
Yeah, yeah, it's great to see everyone. Did I cause people in the chat to stop talking? I hope not. I hope you guys are still watching us. Yeah,
Numero
I wanted you to come by
um,
and say hello on this.
numero
So,
tres, harmony.
mhm.
So it's the idea of harmony or working together, or you could even say confederacy.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Christian. I didn't know you were driving home, my friend. Okay, well, be careful. Don't yeah, don't stop in the middle while you're listening. Try to get yourself home safe first. That's important. Yeah. So anyway, you were saying um, that it was a question of harmony, right?
Uh, It's not a question of harmony.
Well, a concept
It's
of harmony.
it's that the Bible is using the number three to represent harmony. Had
Right.
you ever? I mean, are you a student of the Bible? You seem like you are.
I have, yeah,
Or are you just
I've
a heck
read
of a
it.
nice guy?
I'm a great guy, but I've read it. Well, thank you. Yeah, my wife says thank you. No, I mean I've read the Bible. Um, I know that Father, Son, Holy Spirit, which is considered the Holy Trinity, it made into one, into the one enlightened and eternal body of Lord God, His Son Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, which encompasses them all. Yeah, I mean it is a concept. It is a deep rooted concept of harmony, three into one. Yeah, I've known that for a long time. And
Have-
like I said, one of the things I find ironic is that uh, when people die on Earth, whether they're prominent or not, you see them, pass away in threes. And I just think that's quite interesting. Uh, and it's quite ironic, but then
Really,
I
I
guess
think
I shouldn't be
that's just
surprised,
our
maybe.
pattern recognition.
Right. That's our pattern of recognition.
I don't think that's an actual thing. I think it's just something we recognize as being true. It may even involve us dismissing when it doesn't work out that way.
Right. I just think like I said, I just think it's a fascinating uh, concept that three has such a prominence, uh, like you said, of being harmony, being harmonious. I think it's really fascinating, and I do embrace it. I mean, I believe it does. That there is a value there, not just of harmony, but I would say like life in general. Really, it's a deep rooted appreciation. It's not just reconnaissance. It's more of a deep rooted appreciation of how you see life, uh, you know, progress or in this case, um, pass away, but you know in a set pattern, which we see right away, and we're like, oh, okay, you know, there could be days where you see like say within a given week, you might see four people you knew about, right? That were very uh, good members, I would say, in society in general. And then all of a sudden, all four of those people in 1 week could all be gone, and you're like, oh wow, you're blown away. But then you realize, like you said, it's all about harmony. It's about balance, and you're like, okay, so in most cases, you just accept it. You say, okay, that's fascinating. It's great, and it happened, and then you move on. So that's one thing a lot of people see, and they're like, okay, all right, you know, nothing wrong with that. It's just, but as long, like you said, as long as you recognize it as a concept of harmony, pure harmony, and that's great. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. You know, you already know what you believe in. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gloating. I mean, in my entire lifetime, I mean, I'm turning 60 in a few more months in September, and
Really?
all that. Yeah, thank you. And in all that time, I've only read the Bible cover to cover 4 times in my entire life that I know of, that I'm aware of.
Why would you do
And I
that? Why would you
what's
read
that?
it more than once?
Because okay, I'm not really sure how to describe this. And by the way, I'm sorry I'm on a very limited time frame because I have another stream I'm going to be doing with someone co-hosting, but I'll try to explain it best I can. The first time I read the Bible, my parents actually encouraged me, and I said, "Yeah, sure, I would love to read it," and I did, and I was like, this is fascinating." Um, the Bible itself is an eternal book of interpretation,
It's a what?
and it's an eternal book of interpretation.
An eternal book of interpretation. Could I
Yes,
could I paraphrase or restructure that to make sure I understand? It's a book of eternal what?
interpretation,
Interpretation. In other words, it's always subject to interpretation, no matter how much you know about it. Is that right?
and no matter correct, and no matter how much you read it, I don't
So,
believe that
do
most
you
people
think
get
that's
that
why
idea.
people refer to it as a living work? Is because it's forever in their mind changing?
Correct. Yes,
Okay,
that's the best way I could
that's
describe
what you
that.
mean.
Yeah, you did a wonderful job, so thank you. Yes, and here's like I said, um, the other three times I read it, and I will admit, two of those times I was in a very stressful situation. Well, I mean, after after I had a terrible first divorce and no children, and then a second divorce that almost immediately followed that, which I know I had a hand in, and I know I was to blame. But as long as I knew the blame was shared, and it was not so much the first one, but the second one was. But then I was in a stressful situation. I said, well, the first time I read the Bible, I was like, I'd interpreted it a certain way. I really can't remember what that was, so I feel badly about that. But then I read it a second time, and then I was like, huh. And I said, well, now there's some kind of other different interpretation I felt I retrieved from it, considering my previous divorces and how it was affecting me, overall as a man. Did I feel like I deserved a partner? Did I feel like I deserved to um, share a life with another person? It was tough. I mean, I had to look at it from an angle, and I said, but I'm sure, like after reading it, two more times, I said, you know what? I'm taking this um, from different angles. I'm interpreting it from different angles. But I'm sure that there's many people. I mean, especially, let's be honest. I'm sure there are ministers, there are priests, rabbis, what have you, that have read the Holy Bible and have interpreted their own different ways, right? And I mean
That's the
and
problem with a person claiming that the Bible interprets itself, is because
right,
it's evident in the number of Christian churches and in the varying beliefs amongst Christians that what's
yes,
really going on is people exercising their own biases.
right. But I don't. But should they, Richard? But should they add the bias? I mean, is that
I'm sorry,
really?
what?
That's,
Should they add the bias?
should they add their bias? Yeah, from each time they've read it.
Well, I don't think people can help that. I mean, you'd
Right,
have to work diligently to defeat your own bias, and a person's biases is what naturally happens in their mind.
right. And hello, Roland. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope we recognize you there, sir, Roland. Yeah,
Rolling,
waving
rolling,
to you as well.
rolling, keep those
Roland, Roland,
froggies rolling,
rawhide.
froggies rolling, rawhide.
Exactly. The rain, rough, and
What you
weather.
were saying?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
you were
so
saying?
I guess they can't help. You're right about that, Richard. I guess they can't help having the bias, okay, in the first place.
Right, and
But
so how does
I
one defeat
mean,
that?
well, how does one defeat that?
Yes, how does one defeat that?
That's a really good question.
How about
It really
this?
is.
How about if there were a non-subjective, a fact of the matter
Yeah.
available, and you just accepted the fact of the matter explanation? What if would that defeat a person's own biases? I mean, if they didn't come
I
up with the fact.
well, right. And peace and respect to you, Demolish. I'm sorry I didn't read what you said
It's all
previous.
right.
Thank you. Um, yes, like I said, each time that I got a different interpretation from my own life situations and things that were occurring, yeah, I know you can't help but be biased on a few issues, but I think overall, if you accept those interpretations as continuously growing in the knowledge, um, you know, of God, of Jesus, of the Holy Spirit, of the
Well,
Virgin,
that
of
makes me
all
want
the
to ask the
aspects,
question: Why
all the
wasn't
parts.
it understood the first time?
That, like I said, that's a very good question. I wish I could answer it because
I mean,
like I
fully
said,
and
I was in
thoroughly
a
understood.
situation. Well, I'm saying the first time I ever read the Bible itself, all the way
Mhm.
through, and that's because I was in a unique situation where both my parents, who were starting to become prominent in the overall hierarchy of church itself, gave me the opportunity and said, "Look, take your time and take a look at it." And because I grew up, I like I said, I grew up in a church family. I've been an altar, boy at one time. I've been a lector, so I actually went to the platform and did a reading and everything, and I was very respectful of that. I
I
even sang
forgot
in
that
a church
term.
choir for a couple of years, so I felt like I was already a part of the overall church experience, right?
Right.
But I never really put two and two together because I had never really read the Bible so thoroughly. And like I said, over the years, as I've matured, as I've gotten older, um, I take away a good part, a good interpretation from the Bible each time I've done that. And like I said, fortunately or unfortunately, I've only done it 4 times in life. So it's interesting as it
Well, if that
is.
makes you feel odd, know that I've only done it once.
No, it doesn't make me feel odd at all, really. No, everybody has their own say. They've said what they've done. I've only started looking at it already. I wouldn't really consider it a fifth time. I've actually glanced through it. Um, I haven't really got that far yet. I've been reading some passages, and I did start from the beginning, Genesis and so on. But I'm still, I'm trying to find some, I think that every time that a person reads the Bible, they're trying to find a semblance of self, and they're trying to find a way to uh, get in touch uh, with the meaning of you know monotheism and all the aspects and the concepts that come together with it. And once they've interpreted what they see, what they read, um, maybe there is maybe there, in a majority of people, there's a calming peace, like they understand, right, to a degree. So, that gives me hope, knowing that there's people that read the Bible, and I know, and there's people that read it regularly, or say they do, and I believe them. I don't think they're lying about that, but they get a whole different experience from it. And for me, it's been, 4 different times of experience. But they do they are cohesive. They do come together, make me a better person. They add to my overall makeup, which is great. I need that help. I need that guidance every once in a while. And to be able to read that and see it and interpret it the way I do, it does make me
Shoot,
feel
I,
better.
I don't even wear a
in
watch, never
overall.
mind makeup.
Yeah. Well, you understand, Michael. Please.
Funny.
Funny. Haha.
Hee hee ho ho.
Spiritual makeup. That's what I was talking about. Spiritual makeup.
Oh,
I don't
Not
think
face
I
painting.
don't think it's spirit with makeup either. So nice try.
Not face. Um. Well, demolish. Wait. What do you think, though? What's your interpretation? What do you see?
I think the reason it's left fairly vague and so subject to a person's biases
Yeah.
is because it's instructing the Christ, but not giving him a script, but leaving him some freedom of personal expression,
Right.
and that's why it's written the way it is.
Sure. And I guess we truly believe that, when you're talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you're talking about, four actual, uh, writers, and at least a few of them that were, Jesus's apostles, his disciples, and you can interpret that as being, truthful if that's if that's what they saw when they experienced the Christ, in all his glory and everything. Well, just as a common man, because he was just born a man, and for his followers to see this, but to realize that he was special, is special, and I mean that says a lot. I mean, you read. Here was, before I hate to say, you guys, but I gotta get going. But I'll tell you this one thing.
No, don't leave.
Oh, I know, but I got commitments, guys. I got my own thing going on tomorrow with Suzanne. We're, like I said, we're celebrating our 250 subscribers. It may not be a lot, but they're good family members to us, and I'm glad that
I think it's
I have.
relatively important because of people's own frail disposition and self opinion that they receive validation in whatever way they can, including saying thank
Right.
you for subscribing.
Absolutely. But we consider, this is why I like channels like yours, Richard, and others that embrace their subscribers as being just more than subscribers. These are family members to them. These are people that have helped them along the way, that have been so supportive, that either through prayer or love or support, or in some cases, if they're able to finance, to help you out, even if it's like, what, $1 or something, and it helps out. Hey,
Hello,
Hillary,
Hillary's.
what's up, man?
I didn't realize you guys were having a stream.
Yeah, well, it's
Well, then
it's
how
one
did you
in a
get
blue
here?
moon.
Because someone DM'd me a link to talk to them, and I thought it was going to be about something else. But
Right,
it's cool.
right. I should have mentioned I'm something to stream. My bad.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
But Richard, like I said, I really enjoy these wonderful panel discussions and things we do, and it really has been a long time since I've seen you do it, and guys, and yeah, I mean it's really pleasurable. Thank you for
What
allowing
he's
me.
trying to say is that he hates you, Richard, and he doesn't want to talk to you ever again.
I have never said that.
Wait, are you accusing this man of being a politician and meaning the opposite of what he
Yes,
says?
yes.
I would have never called any of us politicians. I'd call us realists. I mean, we're the people that are actually speaking truthful about things, and everybody else is lying to us. Where we live in that kind of world. We're the truthful people that are going like, why do you have a need to lie? Why do you have a need to exaggerate, what
Survival
we're
of the
already
fittest.
seeing?
Do you live in the country or the city?
I live we live in a suburb, so yeah, I guess you would consider the city. We're in Canada, so
Estrogen
we're-
2? What?
Yeah, Bond
What?
said men tend to lose body fat faster than women due to the muscle factor, and so I was saying estrogen.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
He knew it was me saying it because I put
Yeah,
HE.
fair enough.
yeah.
Well,
Politician is just someone who lives in a polis, so it's a city dweller, someone who has to get along with people. But the way you were saying it was more like a hypocrite, a stage actor.
yep,
Well,
that's what it's come to mean to me.
politicians.
Yep.
Well, we all know how politicians are supported. Okay, when they
Sure.
become what they are, and the positions they attain through whatever means possible. But you're not there for the people. Most of them aren't. We know this to be true.
And
And
remember,
it's
if you
just
yourself
saddening.
cannot be an athlete, at least be an athletic supporter.
That's right.
Yeah, at least that.
And Mikey, you're fired. Get the hell out of here and go do your show, I guess. Just
Okay, I'm fired. Well, thank you. God bless you guys. Take care, okay? We'll see
Thanks
you
for the
next
talk,
time.
Mikey.
yep.
You're welcome. Take care.
So, anyway, how you doing, Hillers?
Grazie, tutto, let's see, mi capo de tutti capi.
See, he knows you have Italian heritage. He's expecting a
No, no, I
reply
know,
in Italian.
I know. I didn't understand. I didn't understand the way I didn't understand.
Yeah, I fumbled at the beginning. So I said grazie, and which
Thank
is
you.
like hello and thank you. And then mi capo de tutti capi, my boss of all bosses.
Yeah, yeah. Babbity boopity, vaffanculo. Oh, Italiano.
That's right. You have to say it with a mustache. Universal translator.
I mean, I wish we had a universal translator that actually worked, like in Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, it's in your cell phone.
I mean, I'd rather have the one you implant in your ear, but then of course if it fucks up, you get a situation of where where it eventually breaks, then you find yourself in on Earth in 1945. Actually, no, it was 41. Wait, hold on. When did Roswell happen?
I don't know if it's real, but there have been videos of people like going in and like to a nail salon, and then the Vietnamese women talking to them, and your cell phone translates everything, puts it in their Bluetooth, so they're hearing, "Oh, this woman again. She's so picky. She never give good tip."
I want to believe. I want to believe.
Yeah.
We need replicators. We do have 3D printers that print out food, which is kind of
That's
odd when you think about
disgusting.
it. Yeah, well, have you ever tried one? I know I didn't.
I just have failings in being able to believe that something that doesn't contain everything naturally grown, naturally occurring, as our foods normally do, would be equally nutritious. I just have my doubts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I don't know. It's fair. It's been a while since I looked into 3D printers that print out food.
Well, I can see it printing out protein and carbohydrate and fat, but how would it get all of the minerals and vitamins? Because vitamins break down like over time. But you put a fresh cartridge in every day.
Probably. Hang on.
Specialty lipids like lectin. I mean, things we need that you just can't live without over time.
Yeah. And how do they synthesize the taste molecules? Isn't it
Not
basically just
lectin, lecithin. Wrong word.
3D food
Sorry.
printing
Go ahead.
works by using a 3D printer to deposit edible materials like dough or chocolate layer by layer based on a digital design, much like traditional 3D printing, but with food as the material. Here's a more detailed explanation. Digital design. The process begins with creating a digital model of the
no,
desired food
you already
item
set it
using.
up. I get it. So you
Okay,
have the actual ingredients in fresh, and then it just spits them out.
basically.
So that's nothing like a replicator.
No, it's not. But but it's the closest thing we have so far
Yeah.
for now. Matter, energy, two sides of the same coin, forever locked in battle.
You know, for emergency space rations, they could just have blocks of yeast and then take like a capsule of nutrients to keep your whatever up.
Yep.
Then maybe have
Oh,
like a little
must just be
scratch
different
and sniff.
anyway.
Have a little scratch and sniff. Oh, this is sirloin. A baked potato with all the fixings.
I think that would actually work out better than what we're doing right now.
Yeah. If you grow
Money,
up on
money, money.
if you grow up on a generation shift, you'd never know any different because that's what you'd eaten all your life.
That would be true.
What is truth?
I like to ask people, compare a nickel.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm not sure if
Hmm,
I've done a stream on what is truth, but that is like a 2 or 3 hour discussion.
At
Probably
least.
longer than that.
I think you could do a fairly decent job in 2 or 3 hours of defining theories of truth, maybe even expressing your own. But would that be enough time to get to what the truth is? No.
Oh,
I find it interesting how facts can also change.
Of course, facts change. Fact doesn't mean truth.
Yeah. It's like, it is a fact that I'm sitting down. Okay? But that fact can change by me getting up.
if it is a fact that you're sitting down in that place, in that manner, at that time, would that change?
I mean, if I get up from that place, from that place,
Hmm.
me standing up will change. The
So
chair
you,
will still be here.
so you standing up changes what you did in the past? Because I
Mm,
included that as one of it. In that place, in that manner, in that time. So the moment that time is over, unless you can go back and change it, it can't change. I think it's specificity of facts that determine their mutability.
I mean, me getting up in the chair doesn't change the fact that I sat in the chair
At that
before.
one moment in time, yeah.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean by saying that the facts can change based
No,
on.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm
Okay.
agreeing with that in the grand scheme, facts are extremely mutable. But if you get drilled down specifically enough, you can make it more difficult for them to change.
Yeah. This is why people hate philosophy.
It gets tough. I'm still having difficulty understanding that knowledge defeats belief. But once you know something, you can no longer believe it. Is what I've been hearing some of the philosophy channels say.
I mean, that's.
Hello,
I
Marty.
mean, hey, once you know something, you can no longer believe it. But by you knowing it, you still have to believe. Okay, wow, that's a little more. That's a. Need to untangle that.
But it doesn't work the other way. You can believe things and have a faith position in something that is also simultaneously true, and you
Right,
can just because of happenstance be correct that you believe a true thing.
right.
But you can't hold a faith position in something that you hold as already true, because then it's not a faith position. So you can't believe something that you know. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay.
But I can believe that I can believe that I actually know that's something. So I have a belief. I have faith in my own knowledge about it.
Yeah, but that's once removed. You don't have faith on the position. You have faith on how you hold the position. It's not the same thing.
Well, if knowledge is a justified true belief, then it would still be a belief even if it's justified and true. So I don't see how it would no longer be a belief, even though that's a sum of claims.
You're right. That's poorly worded. It shouldn't be justified true belief. It should be justified true acceptance.
Yeah.
Because yeah, when you use the word belief, that's in reference to a faith position.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of things that people keep repeating in these circles that people just accept and not really questioning.
So let's Hillary's, let's get together and forge a letter to some philosophical authority and complain about the word belief in JTB.
Yes, we need to write a letter to Stanford.
Stanford University, that'd be the people to complain to, huh?
Yep. So they have an encyclopedia of philosophy, I think.
Yeah, how can it be a true belief? That's contradictory. Or at least a true belief wouldn't be justified. How long ago did they select those words? Maybe the word belief meant something different.
Yeah, it's probably like 400 years ago or something.
That may be a reasonable cause to change it, because the word doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
Yeah. Does Marty exaggerate her age?
She claims to be like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like past 30.
Oh my goodness. That little young
We can all
sparrow.
tell looking at her, she's only like 28, maybe 32 at the most. But she claims to be like over 40. It's
Yeah, I was
ridiculous.
thinking around 28. Yeah, she's.
I would like to read something. It's a bit
Go ahead.
long, but
Look, if Marty, if you were Asian or obese, I would buy it, because when the skin's stretched tight or just naturally tight, people look younger. But you're neither of those things, so I don't believe you.
yep. Anyways, in epistemology, justified true belief (JTB) is a traditional analysis of knowledge, stating that knowledge requires a belief that is both true and justified. However, the get-to-your problem challenges this view, suggesting that a justified true belief isn't always knowledge. Here's a more detailed explanation. Justified true belief, traditional analysis. The JTB theory proposes that knowledge can be defined as a belief that is both true and justified. Three components. True, the belief must correspond to reality. Belief, the person must accept the proposition as true. Justified, the person must have sufficient evidence or reasons to believe it. The Gettier problem, challenges to JBT.
Hold on.
Edmund
Hold on,
Gettiers.
before you get to Gettier problems. See, they used the word acceptance in the definition, in their description of what a belief is. I think it should just be changed to acceptance.
I think we both agree on that, or those three of us.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Gettier problem, challenges to challenges to JTB. Edmund Gettier's work highlighted that a justified true belief isn't always knowledge, as it can sometimes be a result of luck rather than genuine knowledge. Counterexamples. Gettier presented scenarios where individuals had justified true beliefs, but these beliefs were not acquired through reliable methods, suggesting that they were not knowledge. Example, imagine someone believes it's raining outside because they see a cloud, and they are justified in that belief. However, it turns out they are just coincidentally right, and it was never raining, but they believed it was. This would be a justified true belief without knowledge. Implications beyond GBT. The Gettier problem led to the development of alternative theories of knowledge that go beyond the simple JTB framework. focus and reliability. Some theories
Okay,
emphasize.
okay. It sounds like that would be a poorly justified or an unjustified true belief. And Richard was saying the same thing that you were reading now, that just you could be accidentally correct. And so you think you have justification, and it is true, but it was because it was more accidental or coincidental instead of rigorously proven.
Right. Gettier brought up prize winning goat, coins in the pocket of the person who is hired, things like that.
Okay.
I have like 2 paragraphs left, if I may.
Sure.
Focus on reliability. Some theories emphasize the importance of the process by which a belief is formed, arguing that knowledge requires a reliable method of acquiring beliefs. Ongoing debate. The debate about the nature of knowledge and the role of justification continues to be a central topic of epistemology. The end.
I doubt that. I got $5 right now. The last 2 words are not the end.
No, you're right. They're not the end. I added those in for emphasis.
Okay.
So now you're bringing teleology into epistemology. I think I need a velvet jacket and a cigar or a pipe to seem a little bit more erudite.
Perhaps a monocle.
That would help, yeah. For all you know, I could be wearing one now.
You could be. You could be wearing all
I
of those things.
mean,
Good evening, pretty shiny pixie storms.
yes.
Hello,
Hello,
Pixie.
Pixie.
No.
Feel free to join if you can, of course. Peace and respect, dear Richard. Peace and respect. Ugh, I'm in a weird mood. I've been in a weird mood forever. And it's 9:10. Of course it is. What is love? Still working. Okay, well, that sucks. It sucks to be Pixie working.
Unless, of course, what she meant was her ability to type is still working, or perhaps the keyboard is not failed yet.
You whack job.
Maybe she means she has not suffered a traumatic brain injury.
Probably.
Hillary's, would you be willing to, from your memory, such as it is, recall to me for review the other theories of truth that are not JTB?
Oh, I don't know. Well, but that's not even truth. I mean, they're using the word true, but they're not defining it. They're just saying that that's what knowledge is. The knowledge is a justified true belief. But like truth is that which you can repeatedly observe. That's empiricism. Truth could be that which is a model that most closely fits your observations. Truth could also be just what makes you feel good, and I'm not sure what that would be called. It's
Perhaps
definitely not.
compatibilism or no, it seems like what makes you feel good as truth is more likely to be like coherentism.
Okay.
That is, it works within my experience, even if it doesn't apply anywhere else.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I can't agree with compatibilism. it's, it's like it would be dismissing so much other things, and the modern expression "my truth" I think is rooted within compatibilism, and I just can't think that something is true because it agrees with your experience. That's not what makes things true.
No.
I mean, I'm absolutely certain there must be things that I am incorrect about right now. I'm just unaware of being incorrect about them. And if made aware of them, I hope that I would, look into it, find a better answer, and auto correct, self correct. Because not unlike Matt Dillahunty, whom I disagree with on many things, I also want to deny as many untrue things and accept as many true things as possible. So anyone would be doing me a favor if they find me saying something that can't be true. If they pointed it out to me, I'd appreciate it. So is that humility or pride? Kind of hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, if a person says my,
Um,
that is a level of solipsism, and it's also denying the personhood of everyone else. Oh, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. This is my truth.
yeah, yeah. I think that's right. That's at least what it's suggesting. But how can someone say there's an individual truth? Now, I believe there's an individual perception of truths, absolutely, but there can't be individual truths in light of the fact that the observation was made years ago. This sentence is false, and the problems that creates. Well, if we can say
Hmm.
something has to be in some way false, then there has to be other things that are in some way true. So that would be not an subjective, but an objective truth. So if that's the case, there must be not your opinion true things. Now, whether or not we know any of them, that's another question. But they must be, unless you can find a flaw in that thinking.
Yeah, I think that a natural entailment of my truth would be that that person is delusional because they're unwilling to accept observable, repeatable facts and they're just substituting what they want to be true.
Things like the 1 in 50,000 people born with indistinguishable or perhaps even both set of reproductive and nutritional organs for offspring. Other than that, everyone else must be either male or female objectively. It's not an opinion.
I just go with plumbing. I just ask them, are you an innie or an outie?
Unless, of course, they're talking about their feelings, because feelings are always subjective. Unless the person is trying to be deceptive for whatever reason. If people claim they feel something, I'm willing to accept they actually felt it. But how much does that feeling align to the actuality? For instance, I got booted out of a community on YouTube for pointing out that their argument was flawed. And they assumed that because I thought the argument was flawed, that I disagreed with their position, which was not the case. I just wanted them to strengthen their argument and make better sense. Because there was a way to argue their argument that was actually, logically sound, whereas what they were saying was not. So they showed me great prejudice and were personally upset with me because of what they assumed. So did they actually feel offended? Yes. Was I being offensive? No.
And were they being offended by what you said or just their interpretation of what you said?
Well, it's always an individual's interpretation of what the other person said and meant, right? And
Yeah.
that's unavoidable. But the greater question isn't how they felt about what another person said, but what the person actually meant. Their genuine intent, aside from any manipulations or disingenuous portrayals of what they intended. Like if an ex-boyfriend says, "I am not abusive," but that's just gaslighting and they're aware that they're abusive, then there's no truth in it, his or anyone
Right.
Unless they
else's.
don't realize they're being abusive, and what they're saying is true to them, but isn't true to outside, right? Like a
Right,
person
but
may
if they
not
truly
see.
go ahead,
But
sir.
that's what we're discussing. How can something be true just to them when it goes against what the observable facts are?
Well, because of the motivation of the person. Lying is intentional, but
Yeah,
being wrong or go ahead.
yeah, but truth doesn't have anything to do with lying or what the intent is. I just would
Right.
say that's a proposition that they can't justify, and therefore it's not true.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny how they change the wording around. It's I'm a woman, but then it's, well, this is my gender identity. Well, woman isn't a gender; it's a sex. So if you say I feel female, I'm an effeminate male. Yeah, absolutely, I'm with you. And then when you say, oh, well, I need to have a gender confirmation surgery or gender affirming surgery, well, if a man and a woman isn't dependent upon biology, has nothing to do with what's between your legs, how come I need to pay $35,000 for you to correct what you say was never a problem?
That's really lowballing the price.
Yeah, lowballing. I love that. Yes.
And to complicate the matter, if a male for whatever genetic reasons is not producing hormones at the correct age and is getting hormone boosters to be more male, then that is gender affirming care.
Yes.
Whereas using it to deny the evident physicality of the thing is not gender affirming care. It's not. It's you could call it gender denying or gender changing care, but you can't call it gender affirming care. That's ridiculous.
Hey, Q.
What's up?
Peace and respect, LQ.
It's funny. I was actually thinking of sending you a link on Discord. I guess you found your way here anyway.
Yeah, I just woke up from a nap.
Nice. Naps are nice. Nappy naps.
Hey, Marty. I have listened to Hotel California, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, like 35 times in the last week.
Sweet.
Is it out of pleasure, or are you working on a cover of it, or what are you doing?
I am working on a video that breaks down both the lyrics and the meaning behind them.
There you go. Of course, that's why you listen to it 30 times.
35.
35.
I also did some Google research, but I don't want to just use that.
Well, of course. It's like using ChatGPT or Grok.
I bet you like using Grok, don't you?
I mean, I have used it a lot in the last month or two.
At any
Like
time, Q,
Grok
did you
that rhymes
refer
with
to the
dog.
author's opinions or observations about the lyrics?
Yeah, that's one of the several different points that I'll be making in the video.
And what is your definition of the Hotel California weekend enter but never leave?
I guess you'll have to watch the video and find out, won't you?
I will be. I very eagerly will be.
I got some. I gotta record it, and then I have to figure out how to fucking edit it so it's not just like awkward silence at points. Because like, I don't think it's gonna be a super long video. I think at max it's gonna be about 10 to 15 minutes because there's only like, from when I googled everything, there's about 5 different definitions of what the song is talking about. And then there's my own. So I'm gonna save mine and the writer's meaning behind the songs for very last, because there's some interesting takes.
The
I'll
word
give you
device appears once in the song Hotel California. And what is
Correct.
your reading of the word device?
Like I said, you'll have to watch this.
I
you'll
want a
have to watch the
teaser.
video.
Give me something.
Nope. The only teaser that I will give you is there was a rabbit hole that I went down from Hotel California that led into a bunch of other songs like Californication, and a few other songs.
Now, I
That
remember swords and a bull, but I don't remember a rabbit hole.
that led down to these songs we're talking about, like Diddy parties before Diddy parties happened. It was a really stupid rabbit hole, but it was very interesting to say the least.
Well, after that last little bit of conversation, I'm now less interested than I was originally.
Oh, that's not part of the video. I just wanted to tell you that I found
It's
that.
Hey
LSD.
Hillary, since we're on
Sure.
Sammy's account, then could you let the
Sure.
person enter you?
Oop. We, I think Rich and I did it at the same time.
Well, practically,
Marty.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
depending on how long a moment is, we did it at the same time, or maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, at plank time, we're
I'm just
miles
glad
away
you were
from
here.
clicking.
So yeah, the first one I'm doing is Hotel California, and then I'm gonna be diving into I don't know if anybody knows what Bon Iver is, but I'm gonna be jumping into one of their songs next.
The hotel is drugs, and the device is which drug you choose.
Viva Californication. You should do that next.
That is an interpretation.
You should listen to some Rush, Q.
Some Rush.
Yeah.
I fuck with Rush.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, to be completely honest, there's only like really 2 genres of music I honestly refuse to listen to, and that's modern day hip hop country, because it's fucking terrible, and those 2 genres should have never mixed to begin with, and mumble rap. I can't fucking stand it. Other than that, I'll listen to literally anything.
Nice.
Like I even listened to a band that performs ska, and they're called the Pussy Melters.
Some stuff's not bad. It's not
Like,
great, but it's not bad. I saw the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones live back 100 years ago. And that was a fun show.
you know, my autism revolves around music, so you know, if I'm not listening to like one thing or the other, then I cannot even really call myself a musician.
What do you play?
I used to play guitar, but now I just rap. So
Why don't you play anymore?
I had to sell my guitar,
Uh,
and I'm not really able to get a new one at the moment.
I hear it. It's tough.
But yeah, I'm planning on doing California. I might do Californication. I was thinking about either doing that one or Danny California. Mostly because I like Danny California a little bit better. Or after I do the Bon Iver song that I plan on doing, I might like in the comments be like, "Hey guys, what do you want me to do next? Like, do you want me to do a show? Do you want me to do a book? Do you want me to do a song? I don't fucking know."
Do
Get some
yourself a favor.
engagement.
Give them limited options.
Yeah.
Just to get some engagement on my channel because I don't get very much of it. So, like Hillary's, there's an idea that I have that if I can get a few people, maybe including you, into it, I might do it where I deep dive all the lore of Severance.
Uh-huh.
We get a few people together. And,
It's a TV show, right? On
yeah.
Netflix? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay. Robbie watches it.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if he's interested too. Dude, that painting
never-
from the last episode just freaked me the fuck out.
The painting?
Yeah, so in Severance, a lot of like there's a really good plot device. They use like paintings and stuff. It's very interesting. Like I love the fucking show. Very excited for season 3. I still plan on doing a deep dive in a video game, but no one's gonna watch that one. No one fucking cares. So,
What,
huh?
How many people play that game on average?
A lot of people, but nobody in this community.
what
And if they do, nobody talks about it.
How many is a
Well,
lot?
What's the game?
Destiny 2.
Oh, I can't. It's in first person.
Uh,
Isn't it? I've heard of it. I thought it was a first person shooter.
It is.
Yeah,
first
I
shooter.
can't find it's in first person.
Well, you don't like first-person shooters?
No, they make me sick. I get simulator sickness. So
I
simulated mode.
mean, that's kind of fair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would play the shit out of FPS if I could, but I can't.
As of the last 30 days, the average amount of players is 30,407, and the peak is 67,473.
Wow,
Wow.
nobody plays the game anymore.
A lot of people still
Marty,
play it.
you get simulated sickness? Is that like you don't actually get sick, or what does that mean? Simulated sickness.
I get simulation sickness, simulated motion.
Oh,
Like, because I like my eyes will see movement, but my brain knows we're not moving, and that creates a massive disconnect, which gives me a migraine, makes me dizzy, gets me nauseous. So, but like I don't get like real motion sick. I could be on a boat because the boat is moving and I am moving with the boat. So, all that stuff is fine.
so you
I
really
honestly-
associate a little bit too much with puppies, actually.
Oh,
I have a big problem with that.
please. I mean, I work with dogs.
I bet you definitely do well with virtual reality because virtual reality makes you move. You gotta move.
Yeah, my ex-husband had a VR thing, and he doesn't get simulated sickness, and he almost got nauseous. He also almost stepped on the dog, so the dog had to stay in there with me.
Oh, damn.
because he was just spinning around and walking around like a dumbass.
I mean, the game's also been out for like fucking. When did that come out? I think it was like 2012.
The first one had Peter Dinklage's voice as the little robot.
What little robot?
Isn't there a little robot that like floats around your character?
Yeah, they're called a ghost.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage did the voice for in the first one.
Yeah, it's still in the second one.
Oh, did he?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Destiny 2 came out in 2017.
Jesus balls,
Hell.
really?
So game is old as dirt.
Oh shit.
You want to feel old? Half-Life 2 came out in 2004.
Never played it.
Well, you should.
Can't play it. I can't even watch people play it. My boyfriend would play it, and I would try and watch him, and I couldn't watch him.
The only Valve game that I ever played was Portal and Portal 2.
Can't play it.
I love those games.
I would play the shit out of them, but I can't.
By the way, we might be getting Half-Life 3 soon.
I'll believe it when we see it.
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I would love to play some first-person games. Isn't Dead by Daylight in first person?
I don't know. I
Wait,
don't
what
play
was the
Dead by
question?
Daylight.
See what?
What was the question?
Dead by Daylight, isn't that in first person?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, see, I would be all over games like that if they didn't make me sick. Which is lame.
It's in third person.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna check that out. I thought I saw something in first person on YouTube. Cool. And they keep releasing updates and shit for it too, so that's pretty cool. Like new characters, new bad guys. Like I think they're gonna put Art the Clown in another update, or they already did. I don't know if anybody's seen the Terrifier series. It's fucking terrifying.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of the Terrifier series. I think they were kind of ass, to be honest.
Oh man, I went to see the third one in the movies by myself, and I was the only person in the theater.
Wait, what movie did you go see?
Terrifier 3.
Mm.
It's not so much scary as it's just really gross. It's a rough one. It was rough.
We're supposed to be getting another fucking Final Destination movie.
Really? Wow.
It's probably going to be just as dog shit as the others.
I never seen the Final Destination. I never got into seeing it.
Yeah, it's going to drop May 16th this year.
Oh shit.
I hate dying.
Dying? Why dying?
Yeah. I was playing in the game. I was playing Half-Life 2.
Oh, and you're dying? I thought you meant like I'm dying, like you had a cold or something.
Well, I am dead inside. Oh wait, no, I'm not.
Duh. I kid.
Hillary's is an old man.
Hillary, is he still there?
Probably. He's probably pooping.
Hope he didn't. I hope he's not on his phone and bring his phone in there with him.
I hope he did. I want to hear the fart.
Look. Has balls in here. Yeah, I'm about to do that very, very soon. I need to sleep. I gotta be up at 8 tomorrow. Had a long day today. We have 44 dogs in the building today. And we have more coming in tomorrow. Which I'm fucking super stoked about. But at least I'm running the front tomorrow. I don't have to do one of the sides. I got 2 girls that one's going to do one side, the other's going to do the other side, and I get to run the front desk, which is going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to tomorrow.
Is Q still here?
Yeah, he was. He was literally just here.
Okay.
Yeah, he asked if you were pooping. I don't know where he went now. I'm stoked to check out that video about Hotel California. I'll watch the shit out of that.
Viva Californication. Yeah, I know it's not Hotel California, but that song has been stuck in my mind for years,
Let's see.
especially the music video.
I can take it or leave it with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them. Like, meh.
Yeah, I don't care for them. Red Hot Chili Peppers. And from a review of the lyrics, it looks like they're talking about how people get sucked in from all over the place to go there and try to improve themselves, but like almost nobody actually does make it big, and so that's when the fornication part kicks in, and people start getting, their ideals twisted, and oh, I'm willing to do this if I can get something else, later, and then they never get what they were hoping for.
That's what that song's about?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Anthony.
And she was back.
His face.
He's like 60 and he's dating a 19-year-old. Which is
That's nasty.
right?
Wait, who is
Anthony Kiedis.
Dixie?
Anthony Kiedis.
With his wrinkly penis.
I mean, his chick is pretty cute, but she's like 12 compared to him. She's just gross. My wife does some shit like that.
Anyway, you were asking for me, Hillary's. What's up?
Oh, I was just reviewing the lyrics for Californication and giving my idea of what it was about.
Okay.
Because it talks about psychic spies from China and small girls from Sweden trying to make it to Hollywood on the silver screen. And so they're sucking people in from all over the world with a false image of, what Hollywood is. And people go there trying to improve themselves, but almost nobody actually makes it. It even says, but also how when people go to California to make it big, they are often left disappointed. And it says the second verse pushes that California is the place to be, and the belief that everything Western culture has to offer is found there. And then you will notice in the line, it's the edge of the world and all of Western civilization. It's them being sarcastic at how Hollywood and California are portrayed to the rest of America and the world. And I have found that to be so true.
There's a lot of people that believe that Red Hot Chili Peppers have been like putting messages in their songs for a long period of time about how Hollywood is very corrupt and a horrible thing.
Well, I
So
believe it.
it's one of the reasons I actually picked the Red Hot Chili Peppers to review, because one, I love Red Hot Chili Peppers and I always will. Like, they're a fucking great band. But like also, I've been kind of on my this conspiracy kick. Not
Mhm.
like the world is flat, we never went to the moon kind of shit, but like more of like, hey, this song might have a hidden message. Why don't we find out what it is? Because I've always like, so from when I was younger, I used to just listen to music like blindly. I wouldn't pay attention to the lyrics. I would just listen to like them sing, not really care what they're saying, listen to the guitar, things like that. But when I turned 18, I like kind of started sitting down and like actually listening to the song, trying to listen to like the instrumental, then listen to the lyrics, what they're saying, how it's supposed to be conveyed, things like that. Like one of my favorite moments, I don't know if you guys remember the song Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People,
I love that fucking song.
but the band themselves literally tried to say that this song was not talking about a school shooting until the video came out, and then it was literally about Columbine.
Damn,
Yeah.
really?
And like we're like, dude, and I'm before even the music video came out, I was listening to the song and I'm like, what the fuck else could you possibly mean by all the other kids with the pumped up kicks better run, baby, run, outrun my gun? What else could that possibly mean? Oh, fucking come on, man. Don't bullshit me. I'm not that dumb.
He means he doesn't have sex with people who wear inflatable shoes.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a take.
If
But
you're into conspiracy theories, you should check out the. Are you familiar with the Beatles' "Paul is Dead" conspiracy?
I have not.
Oh, you should check that out.
Yeah, I'm really only in like I'll check it out. I'm really only into like musical conspiracy theories though. Like it sounds stupid, but
It is because they hint to a lot of different. So apparently, Paul McCartney got into this accident,
right.
and it kind of got out that he was dead, but he wasn't dead. So there's if you look at older pictures of Paul McCartney and you look at Hard Day's Night circa Paul McCartney, and you look at like White Album Paul McCartney, they say he looks a little bit different. He's got like a scar on his face from the accident, so that can't be really Paul. Paul must be dead. So, and there's hints in different songs, and then there's like I Am the Walrus is about it goes way way deep.
Yeah,
You
I'll
should check
check it
that.
out.
Yeah, I have a book called The Walrus Was Paul. It's fucking fantastic.
I mean, once you outsell the Bible, how do you get any privacy aside from feigning your own death?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's some really cool conspiracy stuff going on with the Paul is dead thing.
I mean, if he feigned his own death, I wouldn't blame the guy.
Yeah, really, right?
I wouldn't really be mad about it.
I want to get so famous that I can fake my own death and nobody would be upset about it. Just be like, all right, well, I died. Goodbye. I don't need this bullshit anymore. Fuck off to some Western island that no one knows about.
If you're as famous as Paul McCartney, people will be upset.
I don't think I'll ever be as famous as Paul McCartney.
I think nobody will ever be as famous as Paul McCartney.
Never say never.
Yeah.
One of the albums that I've been listening to a lot is an album called I Am I by Bon Iver. Really fucking good one. I'm planning on doing a separate series at some point, and I'm gonna go over the entire discography that is Bon Iver. The one I'm most excited about is For Emma Forever Ago, because like the first time I ever heard that album, I was tripping balls on acid. So it was a good time.
The first time I ever tripped on acid, my best friend and I, we watched Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. Buckle up if you're gonna watch that on any hallucinogens. That movie is insane. I mean, it's wacky if you're sober, and it's extra wacky if you're fucking tripping balls.
Um, explosive
You're
diet.
clapping.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm just clapping.
Can you make it clap without no hands? Do 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 do.
What is the sound of one hand clapping?
Smacking people in the forehead.
I could tell you, but it's an ethnic slur.
I'm doing it right now. It's just not very loud.
Wop, wop, wop.
WAP is well,
It's an Italian ethnic slur.
yeah, but it's. I almost said it wasn't because I was thinking of WAP.
Yeah.
God, I hate that fucking song.
I feel like playing Italian music.
You're like, who?
I said I feel like playing Italian music, although of course no one around here is gonna understand it.
Do you also feel like sitting on a toilet and smoking a cigar?
Yes, actually.
What about wearing a wife beater and smacking your wife?
No comment.
So that's a yes. Put that down in the paper.
What are you running a dossier on me?
No, I'm just getting enough information for the FBI to SWAT your house.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man. Whew.
I got so I got in a little bit of trouble at my group therapy yesterday.
Oh God, what'd you do?
So I have a friend of mine that goes as well, and we were all just hanging out, and I heard him go, "Fuck! I dropped my mac and cheese. Fucking hate my life." So I didn't know that I was unmuted, and and I'm like, man, I'd fucking kill myself if I dropped my mac and cheese.
Jesus Christ.
And I heard him laughing in the fucking background, but everyone else is like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted."
I mean,
It's a call for help, people.
My the leader kind of texted me later. He's like, "Hey man, like, do I need to be concerned? Do I need to put you in contact with anybody?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. It's fine.
Oh,
I just have a really dark sense of humor." And he goes, "All right,
Okay.
well, let's try not to use that joke around the group." And I'm like, "All right, I'll
yeah,
try."
I'll be honest with you. I cannot handle being in that group. I'll be like, yeah, it's okay. I'll be fine.
I mean, like, we're all there for a reason, so.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying.
I have a one-on-one therapist. I don't have a group therapist. I don't think I would do good in group therapy.
I've been doing pretty well. Like, it's not like every other group therapy where everybody pulls out their metaphorical sad boner and tries to compare it to each other. It's just more of like everybody understands we're all going through shit, so like we're all just kind of in a room together.
You know,
Pretty
for
good.
me, I found talking to friends actually helped more than going to a therapist.
Like, and so there's two other guys in the group that have a darker, like a dark sense of humor, like I do. And I was talking to him the other day, and I was just like, "All right, so like, what's the worst position you could be found dead in?" And one of them's like, "Well, obviously, shitting on the toilet would be a fucking bad one." And my friend was just like, "Nah, man, naked in the shower, that's the worst way." And I'm like, "Nah, I got jacking off."
No,
You die mid-stroke. There's just nothing worse. Like you don't even get to finish.
no. Being 6 inches deep in a rabbit, that's the worst.
Yeah, I didn't think of that one, but I'm gonna have to tell them that later.
Why only halfway in?
I know. You didn't even get your full stroke on. Died
Oh,
fine.
poor bunny.
No,
You
fun,
disappointed
baby,
me
for
and
real.
Lola Bunny.
Like, ooh.
Poor bunny.
Yeah, if you're gonna choose bestiality, at least pick an animal the same size you are,
Yeah, really.
maybe slightly larger.
Like going
I,
balls
I
deep
was
with
gonna
a
go with
stealing
chicken
hog
because
while
that's
firing
usually
an
what
AR.
they say, but I figured no, that's too stereotypical. We don't want to go with chicken.
So you chose the next best thing.
Rabbit.
I'm glad you didn't say dog though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. That's man's best friend.
Yeah, it's really his best
Depends
friend,
on
huh?
what you mean by best friend.
I
Yeah.
know. And I'll never tell your secret, right?
He won't tell anybody what you did with that jar of
Precisely.
peanut butter.
There was a guy who lived in my development when I was in my 20s. I'm coming home from somewhere and there's cops all over the place up at the front, like the front office with, and I was like, what the hell? Blah blah blah. 2 minutes later, after I get home, it's on the news, the local news, that a guy was renting a room from somebody, and then he raped their dog, had sex with their dog.
Dang.
Outside talking, and then hear this weird
Wait, how
ass.
do they know the dog didn't consent?
Well, they hear this weird noise coming from the room, and they're like, "What the hell?" And they look in the window, and there he was, going at it with the dog. That poor puppy. I hope she was okay.
I
Was
love
it at
how we
least a fairly large dog?
No, she was a beagle.
That's so not no, that's abuse. Sorry. I don't care if it did consent, still abuse.
I mean,
I love how we went from like dark humor to actually talking about fucking animals. Like
You started it. It's all
Started
your
it.
fault.
it is actually. It's all your
I
fault.
didn't start that actually.
Oh,
Hillary
yes, you
did.
did.
I
No,
had nothing. No, because I said if you die jacking off,
Oh,
that's
I
the worst way.
enhanced it. I
You
enhanced
started
it,
it.
but you're the one that planted the idea.
Well, you had the idea, therefore
There-
you started it.
Q, there's
Hashtag
no
blame
chance of a
Hillary.
plausible deniability from within your actions. There's just not that chance.
There
Stop
is
it.
because I didn't mention anything about fucking animals. Therefore, there is plausible deniability.
Well, not
'cause I didn't
overtly,
mention.
but the subtext was clearly there.
Oh yeah, the subtext.
Jesus.
You have to read the fine print.
That's
All
right.
right, you guys, I gotta get out of here. I got an early morning tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Don't
Bye.
build any bombs out of basements.
No, I won't. All right, good night, you guys. I'll see you.
Good night. There's got to be something we can make a bong out of. Grabs fish tank. You know, another thing that I don't know why I've been watching this, but like I've been going down different avenues of entertainment, and one of the things I've been watching is fascinating ways to put weed into food. Like, for example, somebody made a whole ass fucking pot roast that was weed infused, and I'm just like, that's a lot. Like,
It just occurred to me you actually were the one that brought it up because you talked about going down the rabbit hole.
yeah, you
Mhm.
pervert.
I just haven't been able to get that out of my mind.
Yeah, so even imagining what it's like to go down the rabbit's hole.
Yeah, man, that's
At least,
I mean, you did directly say rabbit hole. You
I
did.
hope
Yeah.
it's at least Lola Bunny, because if she can't pass the litmus test, it's just wrong.
it's definitely Lola Bunny. Yes,
All right.
What's Lola Bunny?
from Tiny
It's a
Toons.
character from Looney Tunes.
No, not from
Tiny
Tiny. Oh, not Tiny Toons, Lola.
Sorry.
That's worse.
Are you talking about?
Oh.
Did you mean Jessica Rabbit?
No,
No.
it's a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah, she was first
Okay.
introduced in Space Jam, the good one.
I'm
Good
unfamiliar.
God, Not fucking
Wait,
Tiny Toons, Lola.
what's the full
Come
name
on,
of the
man.
No, I'm
cartoon
saying
and character? Give me the name of the cartoon and character so I can look it up.
Space Jam,
Lola.
Lola Bunny.
Or Warner Brothers. But yeah, it's just Lola Bunny.
You
Oh,
know
I
that
was thinking of
the
Babs, I think. What's her name?
yeah, I
Babs?
think you were thinking of Babs, and even that's kind of bad, man. That's some Diddy level shit right there. That's a child.
Yes, it is.
Hillary's just got put on a watch list.
Oh, yep. Cartoon watch list.
Yeah. The FBI will be raiding your house
Yeah, they got better things to do. They got better
and
things to
finding
do
your
than raise somebody
7,000
for
gallons of
cartoons.
fucking baby oil.
Damn.
Good Lord.
Like, Jesus Christ. Could you imagine, like, even if like, and we're gonna put quotations here, Diddy is innocent, right? How the fuck do you walk away and back into the public eye when the police raided your house and found that much fucking baby oil in your basement? Like, what the fuck were you doing with that? Like,
I don't know.
I like to be extra smooth. It puts the baby oil on the skin, or else it gets the hose again.
I'm just really ashy.
Your Honor, I wasn't using that for sexual devious things. It was just, you know, I got dry skin. You have such dry skin. You needed over 7 gallons of baby oil. Yeah,
Baby oil does not help with dry skin.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
That's the bit.
That was his legal defense.
Yeah.
Yes, legal. Everything is legal. We know.
You know what's really funny is Ashton Kutcher had to drop from his own fucking organization because he got caught on the Diddy party list.
Of course.
That and because he fucking gave a character witness to that one guy that actually from that 70s show that actually did those horrible things to those women. And his
Yeah.
fucking his organization was to prevent sexual assault, which is even more ironic.
Irony.
Pretty fucked up.
Irony. They say it's Scientology that got him and that Mila Kunis to vouch for him.
I don't I like I don't know. I kind of buy it, but at the same time I don't. Scientology can't be that bad, right? They have Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be that bad. Since you asked the question.
That was also a bit.
Everything is a bit, even when it's not.
I'm dying.
Gonna make it? Be all right?
Nah. I'm gonna be 6
Just
feet in
5?
the dirt tomorrow.
And I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.
Ugh, Creed. I fucking can't stand Creed, dude.
Why?
I just can't deal. Like, you know what pisses me off the most is like
No, I don't.
Nickelback gets so much hate, and some of it rightly so, right? There's some like Nickelback is not the greatest band of all time. I love Nickelback, but even I can admit that. But yet, fucking Creed gets no hate, and they're just accepted, and their fucking music is garbage.
So you
Like,
don't like popular music. I'm following that
I never
far.
said I don't like popular music.
The things you're saying says you don't like popular music.
I don't like Creed. That doesn't say I don't like popular music as a whole. I just don't like Creed.
What is it you don't like about them?
I don't like his voice at all. That and
Well,
like
that's a
I
good
had to listen
argument.
to it on fucking repeat. I had to listen to the same damn song 500 fucking times as a kid. It was the worst.
So it's just the repetitiveness. It was literally the popularity of it that you didn't like.
No, it was the fact that my father played it a billion times and that I hate his voice. That is bullshit, and you know it, Bond. Don't even bring that shit in here, dog. Don't even start that shit. I'll fight you where you stand. We both know that that's cap. He's back to dissing fucking Kendrick again, though. Bond is talking about two rappers that are currently going at each other.
Q thought Drake would beat K Dot. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I don't
Drake
know who
Drake
any of
got
those
fucked.
people are. I
Drake is
know
a
Q is. That's where the limit of my knowledge stops right there.
yeah. The music video was terrible, dude. Not only was the song dog shit, but like you couldn't make up for it with the fucking music video. It was bad. Like Drake just needs to chill the fuck out and go back to making fucking white girl music, dude. Like for real.
I saw the music video and the lawsuit.
Song was bad. Yeah, dude, you need to come in here. Bond, come in here, please. Please come into the fucking chat. I want to talk
Yeah,
to you.
because none of the rest of us here are going to be able to talk about this topic at all, actually.
I miss you. I haven't talked to you like person to person in like so long. You're gay. I hate
He
you.
can't tonight. He's busy and he has a headache.
I like
yeah,
the way
I
you
love
added
like
that.
fucking. I love the fact that like.
Sorry, I was married for 17 years. The rest of that line just flows out by accident.
Yeah,
I love the fact that like Drake was like, I'm a hard rapper, but I'm gonna sue you because you said mean things about me in your song.
What a pussy.
Gonna fucking sue you, man.
So what was he supposed to do? Diss him back in a different song?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, that was kind of the point.
That's traditionally been done, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't really beat Kendrick Lamar after he like publicly outed you as a pedophile.
Outed him, as in he
Oh, yeah.
is, or accused him of?
No, he's for sure.
Yeah, he's got a long history of throwing underage parties up in Canada.
Were you one of those children? I mean, how do you
Hell
have personal
no.
knowledge of this?
Like, it's hard to explain if you haven't been caught up on the whole thing. But
If you're a 58-year-old guy inviting like 14 to 16-year-olds over for non-chaperoned parties, that looks really
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, do we have any objective, non-propagandic evidence of that?
His statements that he has posted the photos of.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
like
that's
he
self-incrimination. That's pretty
himself
good
has been
evidence.
fucking. He himself has been fucking that up since he started. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Of course, a
And,
Democrat
like,
might make an argument that maybe he's mentally that age and it's appropriate.
Yeah.
what's really funny in my opinion is like this all like the whole drama between the two started back in 2010 over some really petty fucking shit, and then it just evolved last year.
Spell petty.
I don't wanna.
Petty or PEDI? I'm just curious.
Petty.
Okay.
Bond, you suck, man. And just throw a fucking grenade in the chat and not come in here. Fucking asshole. You stinky ass Texan.
Damn.
Man, I need to get some fucking razors. I need to shave. Shit's driving me nuts.
Hugh, weren't you the one that had a cartoonish picture background of a wizard who was casting a spell?
Oh yeah.
What
Hang
was
on.
that?
Let me see. Let me see if I still have it.
That was you, right?
Oh yeah, it's I cast unwiped ass cheeks.
Right, right. That's what I'm recalling. And suddenly, stinky ass is an insult after you have used an icon or a picture like that.
Well, yeah, because like that's the whole point of me casting the spell. Is
No,
now
it
you
just
have a
just seems that
stinky
you're
ass.
claiming that Bond is more effective than you are in calling him a stinky ass in consideration of this background.
Well, right, but it's me casting the spell.
No,
That's
but you
why I
said
have it.
he is the one who naturally has the spell stinky ass and is thereby grabbing some kind of authority or is winning.
Nah, it's just me casting unwiped ass cheeks on him. The
Yeah,
other one I was gonna.
but you didn't call yourself stinky ass. You called him stinky ass.
Yeah, exactly, because he
I'm
has a
just pointing
stinky
out
ass.
consistency. That's all.
I would also the other background that I have I was gonna put on was I cast tungsten ball sack, but like I couldn't get away with that. So
What's wrong with tungsten ball sack?
either like so it's a bit too obscure. Like unwiped ass cheeks, you could kind of get the joke, whereas like tungsten ball sack is kind of a on a different level. I keep disappearing into Jesus.
That
Are
sentence
you
behind you is missing all punctuation.
It's a meme. It doesn't. It's not supposed to have punctuation.
Well, that means there's several ways to read it.
What were you saying, Hillary?
are you gonna be tonguing my ball sack or
No, so tungsten ball sack is just like it makes it incredibly heavy. That's what it like
so I got
tungsten
big ass
steel.
Tungsten is
balls?
Yeah, it's like tungsten
tungsten
steel. You
isn't
can't.
known for being horribly dense. It's
Huh.
known for being very
Strong.
non-elastic. I think it's
Yeah.
probably the best way for me to say it.
Resist deformation.
Yes, very much.
You know what else resists deformation?
These nuts in your mouth.
Hey. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. There we go. Virtual background. Oh no, I can't use this one. No.
Okay, then don't.
I didn't mean to click on that. Oopsies. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, no. Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to say that nobody. Okay, I can't say it.
From this
Nobody
group,
in this group is going to heaven.
Oh, yeah, okay. Also, hot corn. Yes, that's good. The corn.
I'm sure. Where the fuck did that meme go?
into the
Memes
That
are
is
ether.
gay.
precisely where you left it.
Oh, I might not have put it on my computer.
You got 3 different answers. Pick which one you want.
I pick no answer.
Picking no
Well,
answers. Choice.
that's the answer that Midnight gave was no answer. So you can't
No.
pick that one.
I mean, what was even the question in the first place?
Where did that meme go?
I said it was precisely where he left it because inanimate objects do not move on their own.
And I said into the ether because if people no longer remember it, then it's just gone. It's out there.
God damn it. It's too dark in here.
Kind of like the black hole under your car seat.
Hey, we don't talk about Bill like that. There we go. I need to find what I did. God damn it. My friend hasn't hit me back. I'm supposed to be playing. We were supposed to be playing fucking Destiny tonight, and I haven't heard from him, and it's pissing me off because like there's a game mode that finally came back, but I can't play it without him.
Is it a co-op mode?
No, I mean yes and no. Like you could play it on your own, but like I kind of promised him I wouldn't rank up in it without him. So
Have you texted him?
yeah, I've texted him like 5 times. Not really. I've only texted him once, but I'm not gonna blow his phone up. He is in the military after all, so he might be fucking working.
Well, I mean, compared to 1,000, 5 is very close to 1. Practically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy's in the Navy, so he might be on the boat.
Wouldn't you know if he was on the boat?
Nope.
Huh. The seamen that I've known always knew what their rotation was.
Well, yeah, but he
Maybe it's
doesn't
not
tell
part
me
of a
his
regular
rotation.
rotation.
He
There's
doesn't tell me.
no point at all in keeping field practices any kind of secret whatsoever.
Well, he just doesn't want to tell me. I'm not gonna make him.
Oh.
It's just a weird thing to keep secret, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like every barber shop near the base knows who's in rotation and who is not. It's so public knowledge.
That or he could be hanging out with his wife. I don't know. He's doing something. Because I see that he's online, you fucker.
Well, if he's online, he's probably not on the ship.
Well, we're not. But he's probably busy, so. That's fine. We're scheduled to play tomorrow, too, so. I'll just wait. Even though I don't want to.
Yeah, if there were people using satellite link to have internet connection from a ship and it wasn't encrypted, it'd be pretty easy to find the ship, wouldn't it?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. What the fuck?
What?
I just list. I thought I saw something in my DMs that freaked me out. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on in Indiana right now?
Everything that's possible.
Oh, the Bulls are leveling right now. What are they? Ew. No, don't open that. Cannot fucking stand Microsoft Edge. It's the worst fucking internet browser.
I agree. Wish I could just uninstall it from my computer.
Same, dude. I was just saying that the other day.
So, Q, what's your recent position or up-to-date position on religions in general, or any specific religion that you would speak to?
What do you mean?
You've been
That was
attending.
pretty clear what I meant.
Yeah, you've
Not
been
really.
attending. So you are some sort of Christian,
Yeah, non-denominational.
right?
Yeah.
How long has it been that way?
Let's see. Almost 2 weeks.
Well, no wonder I need an update. Okay, so for the last 2 weeks, you've been non-denominational and Paraguay. That's Spanish French.
I'd
For
like to keep
why?
I'd like to keep my reasons to myself, if that's okay.
You've already said them online.
Oh yeah, but I don't want to talk about it again and again and again. I'll talk about it off air, but
Yeah, it's such an
Okay.
inconvenience when new people ask you the same thing some other person already did.
yeah,
Recognizing that they have individual experiences and they don't share thoughts between friends.
Long story short, some stuff happened in my life, and it just kind of added up to me becoming a Christian again.
What's her name?
It's not her name. It's
Oh,
nothing to
there's
do
no
with a
girl.
woman.
There's no girl involved in that.
No,
No.
I wouldn't change my religious stance for a woman. I'm
You
not
wouldn't be
that
the first
desperate for
man that
ass.
did, though. Yeah. I mean, if you did, you wouldn't be the first man that had.
Yeah, but I find that kind of depressing. If someone does that, like you not act like no. I'm not going to change my entire personality just for one person. Fuck that. I'll stay single if that's the case.
That sounded the same as I've never had good vagina.
I've had plenty of good vagina. I didn't need to
How would
change my
you know?
personality
How would you know compared to what?
to shitty vagina that I've had.
So you've had bad and really bad.
I've had good, I've had bad, I've had mid.
See, but
How
that's experiential. How do you know it was good? Like, have you ever met a woman who could control her internal muscles to
Yes,
manipulate your member without moving the outside of her body at all? Have you ever had
yes.
that?
I've
Okay,
I
that's pretty
fucked
good.
a yoga instructor who did Kegels all the time. She could also
No,
bend
no,
her
no,
entire
not just like tightening and loosening. That's simple. That's easy enough.
like I didn't have to
But
move and neither did she. Like
but
that's
like
how
rippling massage. Have you ever had a rippling massage? Something like that.
I don't know, probably. But I don't really want to talk
Ah, you
about my
just
sex life.
well, you didn't want to talk about your religion. You don't want to talk about your sex life. You don't want to talk about politics. Let's see. What else do you not want? Let's find out everything you don't want to talk about.
Pretty much it.
I was interested in finding out if he's had any shitty asshole.
Not yet.
Jesus.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, this stream has gone downhill, even worse
Yeah.
than before.
It's gone straight to the shitter, if you will.
The exact fear of that is what kept me away from butt play.
Mm.
You know what? I don't blame you. As a bisexual man, that's still. I don't know. I like asses, but at the same time, it's like, ew. It's like, make up your mind. Or make up my mind. I don't know.
That's why
I'm
you should,
conflicted.
there's a great thing called showering before and after sex.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I
Wait,
can't
wait.
have sex at
Showering
the
doesn't
moment.
keep feces off your member.
If the person cleans their asshole, it does.
What? It, I, describe how you shower.
He said,
Upside down with
Bro,
like a
an
douching
8-inch toilet
device on
brush.
the shower. Just how do you shower and get the
no, you
inside of
just
your anus clean? I want to hear this.
don't clean the inside of my anus. I'm just saying you can wash your ass.
Yeah, but if you're gonna stick it in, the shit is on the inside. That's what he
Put a
doesn't
That's
want.
condom
what
on
I'm
then.
saying. Yeah.
Put a condom on. You don't have to worry about it.
I did.
Or
I
you
kept
could ask them,
the
or
girl
you could ask them to douche their asshole. You know.
I could
See
tell like
that?
a really gross story about college.
I don't want to know. No thanks, Hillary. Maybe another time. Maybe
Okay.
when I have more inebriations. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm 16 days away from being 8 years sober from opioids,
Congrats.
Congratulations.
and I'm doing nothing to celebrate it other than working and probably going to bed.
I think there's nothing to celebrate in that.
I mean, that's
I mean,
on
isn't that
your
like just
opinion.
normal? Not
Not,
being on opioids. That's just normal.
I guess, but like if you've never had an addiction problem, then you wouldn't get it. It's not really for other people. It's called celebrating small victories.
Hmm. How's your 401k doing?
I don't have one.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad idea to change that.
Well, when I'm in a position to, I might.
See, people don't become in a position to. People make themselves start doing that sort of thing out of discipline, and that's how they get into the position to do it. Matter of priorities.
Well, currently my priorities are to make sure my bills are paid and a place to stay, and not a 401k.
Are you saying you don't waste any money at all ever? Is that what you're suggesting?
I
'Cause I don't
haven't
believe
been
that.
for a while. I don't have money to waste. Like, I have to find a place to stay again soon because this is a temporary place that I'm staying. So I don't have money to waste.
How much have you saved up toward the move?
About $300.
Congratulations. How much do you need to save up and in what amount of time?
I've got till the end of this month, and I need about 900 more. So
Better open
How
up the
much
GoFundMe page.
how much
I'm
is
not
that per
gonna.
day?
I don't know. I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing and putting any money that doesn't go towards bills from my paycheck into my savings account.
It's about $32 a day.
Neat.
$35 a day would definitely do it and give you a little bit of cushion. A little bit,
1 second.
not much.
There we go. Fuck, that was driving me crazy. I need to cut my fucking hair soon. It's getting too long.
So it's about $35 a day.
Okay. Hillary's.
Yeah.
So since I've started this job this week, right? Like I started 2 weeks ago, but this week, would you like to know the amount of miles I've walked in total?
10,000. Probably more, actually.
20.
Uh,
20.
Possibly. I have to look at my phone, but yesterday I walked 6.6 miles or 6.69 miles. I just say
Oh, you mean
6.6.
miles. No, that's my bad.
Sweet.
Hang on. Let me go get my phone. BRB.
Yeah, 10,000 miles would be quite a bit to walk in 1 week. I think
No kidding.
The Romans marched about 100 or 110 miles a day.
That's
Might be
pretty crazy.
might have been 20. Is what it was 2.5 miles per hour for 10 hours. Is that what their average was? Something like that.
Yeah, I would think 20 would be more realistic. I mean, a 12 miler ruck march at something just under 3 miles per hour was a 3 hour venture.
Mm-hmm.
So, say you doubled that, said 24 miles is about 6 hours just because it divides evenly into 24. Even if you see, that's 6, that's a quarter times 4, 25. You could do 100 miles in one day. You could. But man, you'd have to not poop, have to not eat.
And well, good luck with that.
Vegetus claims Roman recruits should be trained to march 20 Roman miles a day in roughly 6 hours at the ordinary step and 24 miles at full step.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can see that. Because that first calculation was actually walking pretty slow.
The French Foreign Legion is trained to march 75 miles in 3 days with the full combat loading of a rifle and 70 pounds of gear.
That's only 3.5 hours a day. Dude, my first ruck march, I was so gung ho. The minimum was 25 pounds.
Mhm.
My ruck weighed in at 80. I didn't put any of my actual gear in it. I just put lifting weights in it.
And
I came in right behind the company commander. Only I did not pass him because I did not know where I was walking.
right.
If I had a map of where I was walking, I'd have come in first.
All right, so let's see. Monday I walked 4.87 miles. Tuesday I walked 3.56 miles. Wednesday I walked 6.15. Yesterday I walked 6.69. And today I walked 4.84. So
And what's the reason for the varying distances?
basically if I put my phone back in my pocket whenever I'm done charging it at work or not. But I walk to a bus stop to get to work, and then I walk all day at work chasing dogs around. And then I walk from work to another bus stop, and then from that bus stop home.
Okay.
So hang on, let me do some quick math. Quick math.
I consider
Changing
being
it from. Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to make a dumb joke. Changing it from bitches to dogs does not improve, the disrespect level.
Been chasing bitches, huh? I hear you. I used to do that. When I was young, like 20, I considered becoming a meter reader just because I enjoy walking on. But I was not happy being a postman
And why not?
because there's so much time you got to do sorting, and then you got to just a bunch of stuff.
Not to mention the fear of going postal.
Not to mention that Trump, when he got elected, was going to put you out of a job anyway.
I walked, as of right now, a total of 25.68 miles.
Okay.
Starting when?
Monday.
Monday. Since Monday. Today
Since
being
Monday.
Friday. Well, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not nothing, but it's not everything.
Considering that the CDC says that 38% of adults don't even walk, I think it's 10 minutes a week is what they claim.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
So like I have this
Dude,
thing on my phone that's a fitness app, and like I set it to where I don't know why it's so low because it didn't give me an option to pick a higher, but it was like I'm supposed to burn 290 calories a day, and each day of this week I've doubled that almost. So
Cool.
Why 290? What is that calculation based upon?
I think my height and weight. I don't remember. It's been forever since I set that thing up.
290 to accomplish what?
Just to burn calories. It's 290 calories.
290?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said for some reason it wouldn't let him pick more.
You know, 290 is like a small sandwich.
Yeah. I know.
Like half a hamburger.
I know. It just wouldn't let me pick a higher number. So, but each time I've doubled it, it's gonna go up. Like I think it was like 240 when I first started, and then it slowly goes up to try to get you to burn more calories.
So it's trying to not have you. Now I forgot the word I was going to use, but dissuaded.
Burnout, overtask.
Yeah.
Not have you disappointed and give up.
I think so. Yeah.
Goal. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of insulting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, you know.
I
cheers
just
it
find
up.
it really funny when it's like, "Hey, dude, congratulations! You've beat your fucking
Your goal of half a sandwich.
Yep.
yeah."
I
Yep.
consume as much as I can stand to, and I'm losing weight. I literally eat all that I can stand to eat.
Which I guess isn't much at this point. How much did you eat? Like a cup?
Oh, no, I've
I've
never
most-
eaten a cup.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think they're low on nutritional value.
I heard
Most
it's
of them
supposed to
made of
hold nuts, though.
plastic or porcelain or glass. Let's see. On an average day, I probably consume a quarter cup of sugar, quarter cup of cream, about 4, maybe 5 slices worth of wheat product, bread slices worth of wheat product, approximately a half a cup of corn product, a cup and a half of bean product, about a quarter stick of butter, at least 2 king size candy bars,
Damn.
2 or 3 Gatorades,
Gatorade.
and perhaps the equivalent of a quarter cup of vegetables, mixed vegetables, like, North American garden vegetables kind of thing. One
Someone taking
banana.
a piss?
Why you being?
Oh,
Why does
never
that
mind.
sound interesting?
It doesn't sound interesting. I thought someone was taking a piss and forgot to mute.
No. It was a very kind reminder then.
I think Hillary's just cooking or something.
No, that wood against metal sound, that was him tapping it on the edge of the toilet.
Okay.
Smack
I
it
came into
against
the
the
bathroom
lid
to
to
wash
get the
my
last drop off. What's that?
Yeah. I came into the bathroom to wash my hands and I looked in the toilet and thought, this needs to be scrubbed out. So I got my toilet brush and scrubbed it out. I didn't pee though.
So I was right. You were getting those last few droplets off by hitting against the
I
rim of the
was. You
toilet.
were correct.
Yes, I thought so.
Mm.
I might go kill space hamsters.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yep, I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Peace.
Well,
So what's the argument?
what's the argument of what?
What's the argument that you want to start right now? Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, no argument, but I will say, I will say, I felt like you were going a little bit hard on Quentin bit aggressive. Am I the only one who noticed that?
Hard on him about what?
Not hard, like you were going aggressive. Like you said something and you kind of pointed it out, like, oh, you don't like to talk about politics, you don't like to talk about religion, you don't like to talk about this. It's like, I don't know, the way you were talking to him came across. I, I don't know how to explain
You
it.
should see me trying to be unfriendly.
Yeah,
This is me being friendly.
well, you need to work on that.
No, I've given up.
I know, I'm
I've
kidding.
found-
I'm joking.
No, you're right. You're completely right that it is like a severe personality flaw or maladaptation or something. But I've tried for years to make it better at other people's requests and at their advice. And no one can tell me what exactly I should say and do in whatever given situation, or maybe they can't describe enough situations that I always know exactly what to do to make the other person happy.
I mean, I just
So
figured.
I've pretty much just given up on it.
Well, that's sad, but I just figured because you had like past interactions with Q, it didn't exactly end well. You were kind of back in
They
that
didn't end
mindset.
well. I don't remember
Yeah,
one that
you
didn't end
had.
well.
Well, there was one conversation you had with him on this channel of him saying that he doesn't want to teach people, but then you were arguing that yes, he could do that. It was a long ass time ago. I just remember that there was like issues between you two.
I don't have any issues with him, except for that he kind of bullshits too much. My
Well,
opinion.
there is that. Yeah.
I mean, if it's his idea of entertainment, I'm happy for him that he's entertained. Don't get me completely
Who is
wrong.
that?
Q.
Oh, okay.
I think he says too many things that are inaccurate to his own view and are inconsistent. And I do point them out to him, in trust and love and respect as a friend. I'm not trying to diminish, correct, exactly. I'm not trying to like authoritatively correct him. I expect that he'll do that for himself.
Well, we could ask him what his goal in the conversation is. If it's just entertainment, then he might just try to be funny.
Right.
Okay, so
I'm
he's
just
a
not in.
Christian, but he's also on the Buddha's path. So, like, okay.
Well, those aren't necessarily contradictory.
Fair enough.
I mean, you could quote Jesus as having said, "Do unto others." You could quote Buddha as having said, "Do as others wish." It's basically the same idea, and there's a
True.
lot of overlap in my opinion. Although the Christian, in their doctrinal reading frame, would read Christ as unsuccessfully reviving Lazarus just for him to die again later, where Buddha says you should accept the reality of death, and they would interpret that as two different things. I personally
Wait,
don't read what Jesus said that way.
If Jesus was successful in reviving Lazarus, how did he die again? Or did I misunderstand you?
It's a Christian assumption that Lazarus was raised from the dead by Christ, lived on this earth afterward, and then eventually died of natural causes later.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
That's what they hold to. Now, I don't think that's what the story is about. I don't think that's what the story is trying to suggest at all.
If Jesus was giving Lazarus life, then he would never die.
That would be more accurate, right? That would be more in keeping with the rest of the story. So then you have the option of Lazarus happening in end times, ascending into heaven and never dying again. That's viable. That would be consistent within the text. Or that it wasn't referring to physical death whatsoever, but a repentance, a changing of mind, which is what Jesus did for him. And that would never change again because he had accepted something true. So
Right.
either way that you look at it, there's two ways to look at it that would be consistent within all of the Bible. And the only reason I choose the latter of those is because in the book of Revelation, it reads that all will be resurrected simultaneously. So then Lazarus has to be the same time as everyone else, or it would be inconsistent with itself. I mean, if it meant physical death. But then there's those who think that Adam and Eve wore no clothing.
How do you interpret that?
Consistently, nakedness being ignorance or
Yeah.
fully revealed in whatever way. For instance, David dances naked before God. Well, that doesn't mean he was like he was doing the electric slide down the road with no clothes on. That's not what it means.
Yeah, I just took it to be they were innocent.
Yeah, innocent, ignorant, either way, either one works. Yeah. Or naked also in some context means fully seen. For instance, in the story of Noah and his sons, one of them saw him fully, the others did not.
Yeah.
It's not that he was ignorant or innocent, it's that he made himself obvious. That's one way you could say it. Of course, if you consider the relationship between the Father and the Son, the Father does that with the Son. Such as the testimony of Paul. I mean, Saul Paul. I think to read it elsewise is just ignoring traditional Judaism. For which, of course, the stories were written, those people.
Somebody
Is
get
it
that
the
out of my way.
actual? Is that I get it.
Rich will have to
That's the actual V.
Howdy, howdy,
Rich
fellers.
will have to let him in.
Hello. I'm glad you came. I'm glad we were still alive, and I'm glad you're here, B.
Oh, good to be here. I might cut out though. We got some heavy storms, so
Nonsense.
might
You'll be
cut out,
fine. So how's it going? What's up? What's going on? What'd you do today? What's going on? Where are you? I don't know.
Oh, I just got back to the pad a little bit ago. I got some pizza and some marijuana.
Ooh,
Earlier,
nice.
went to go get had to get a, well, I didn't have to, but I got a car for my kid.
You know, the term marijuana was taking advantage of people's prejudice against Hispanics from Mexico because
Yeah.
that's the Mexican word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they really used, I mean, it was like probably by the time of the hippies around 60s, 70s, they really like pushed it and how dirty of a drug it is and where it comes from and all that. Yeah.
I think it was before
Yep.
that. I think back in the 50s they were doing it.
Oh, yeah, oh, right. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah. during the Eisenhower administration when they were doing mass deportations. They were like, "Oh no, they're smoking this marijuana and it's making them lazy." And
That's somewhat true.
yeah,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a person having a vacation, but people who tend to live in a vacation rental also have a propensity to not do necessary things.
Yeah, that's very true. Ooh, tornado warnings.
Well, you weren't kidding about the storm activity, were you?
Oh no, it's crazy over here right now. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Of course, we should all recognize as a public service announcement that a warning is not the same as a watch.
correct.
Right. Yeah.
A watch means it's in your vicinity. A warning means it may come up in your vicinity.
No, it's the opposite.
Is it?
A watch means be on the lookout for it. A warning means we have indications that it is already here.
Okay, now I'm going after citations.
Do it, because I was confused for most of my life also.
Yeah, we had a slew of storms coming through the last couple of days. Yesterday wasn't too bad, but the day before we had, I think, they said one touchdown about 5 minutes from here, and another one was about maybe in Cesar, which is about maybe 12 minutes from here. But I don't imagine they're really heavy ones.
A watch's conditions are such that they may form. A warning is there are visual sighting or a radar return that has indicated that one is already present.
Being that I found the exact same idea, I am willing to submit that I had them backwards, as you said.
And now you have them correct.
Well, for now, it may revert. But today I've got it right.
Okay.
I mean, brains do have a tendency to work on an average.
Yeah.
Like, how many times did I remember it that way versus how many times am I like trying to think of it this way?
You know, this town I'm in, you know how you're talking about the averages thing, but you know, there's like one, I guess, what the story around here goes. It was, I'm not exactly sure, but it was like, you know, like 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I don't know. But I guess a tornado did touch down in this town. And they talk about it because I guess if it's true or not, or some kind of like lore, I guess the 2x4 went right through a lady and her baby was like embedded in halfway in a tree. I don't know if that's true or not.
I've actually seen a cutaway of a McDonald's straw stuck into a telephone pole. It was stuck in more than 2 inches.
Yeah, you know, I have seen stuff like that, like photos and crazy things like that from storms.
It's
so yeah,
photoshopped.
I mean, it's not impossible, but yeah.
It's photoshopped.
You know, I'm not saying that sort of thing is impossible to Photoshop. I'm not even saying that you couldn't mechanically core with a thin wall coring drill and something the size of a McDonald's straw, put the straw in there and put the plug in the straw. I'm not saying that couldn't be done. I know how I
like
could
a boring
do that.
bit or something, a counter.
No. It's a bit for creating pegs. So it's like a hole saw with no center hole, with no center guide. So you have to stabilize it otherwise, like with something surrounding it. But then you get a perfectly good circular cut. Excuse me, a perfectly good circular cut into the wood, and pull out essentially a rod of wood. Excuse me, my throat's dry. Need some Gatorade.
You use the same type of bit to drill a hole for a lock in a door.
No. Nope. I mean, if you have a guide and you don't use the centering drill that guides the hole saw, then
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah,
Then you,
the one that I got when I did mine, it was just a cylinder with teeth,
yeah,
like you said, on the edge, and there wasn't anything centering it. So you had to just like
correct.
very slowly start it to make the first groove.
Sometimes on those cylinder ones, they come with the bit where you could put a guide in the center. But if you kind of want to get the whole
Oh,
peg
Right.
out, like yeah,
Right, but
yeah.
if you wanted a solid peg, you could defer to what Hillary's is saying, or any kind of coring bit.
right, yeah.
It's called core drilling, and you get a
Mhm.
sample, or it creates a rod when you drill.
And
Yep.
there's a possibility that the Egyptians used these, although Egyptologists don't like to admit it,
Why wouldn't they want to admit it?
because they want to say it was just hammer and chisel. They just did it forever. But like the evidence that I've seen and the engineers have talked about, like there's high speed machine, drilling
Aliens.
and other action to quarry
I've
some of
seen
this
that.
stuff. Yeah.
I've seen, yeah, obviously some kind of aggregate that was embedded into and was spun like a circular saw blade. There are
Hmm.
like obvious marks like that. The chances of a human
Right.
being making a repetitive course with a hammer and chisel where every depth is the same for hundreds of iterations is almost no chance.
At least you have a really good foreman with the ruler. A lot of time. I don't know. Yeah, but I totally agree. That's a lot of. I noticed those boring bit types you're talking about, where it's just perfectly cylindrical all the way through, and they're all
Sure.
the same size. I mean, I can only
Well,
imagine. They got a river there, maybe flowing water, belts, pulleys. I don't know.
I mean, how
Yeah.
proud do we have to be to say, oh, they couldn't have thought of, as they smelted copper, putting an
Right.
aggregate in the bottom of the mold,
Hmm.
something tougher than the copper. Like, they couldn't think of that because they were so freaking stupid.
I mean, if they're crafting jewelry and different types of things, obviously they're going to be experimenting with different types of minerals, metals. Melting everything they can to try to see what was stronger. Then I'm sure.
Sure.
But they did this one thing where I think it was called the Lost Civilization of the Bow and Arrow. I forgot what it is. Some documentary talking about the bow and arrow from different places from around the world. That this weapon, I guess, was reinvented continuously,
Hmm.
or something like that. But in some cultures, they have no idea where it came from. They don't test different woods. All they know is to use that type of wood and do it this way only, with no type of innovation, but yet not really knowing. They know how to do it, but a lot of these tribes, I guess I forgot what percentage it is, but they had like 3 or 4 of them. They had no idea. They just know how to do it because that's what they were taught. So it's pretty weird that some just do
Well, why
without
would you
thinking.
keep history of failures
Right. But I'm just saying,
once
like,
you had
it's
success? I mean,
right. It's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Well, there's those types, I guess, the innovative type. They'll do something different, make it a compound bow or a different type of weaponry, maybe. I don't know. It'll
so you're
just show how
saying
some cultures
across
just
all
stay.
tribes where
Mm.
elm was available, elm was used.
Pretty much, but they just kind of focused on this documentary about how they didn't really go further than that, and they didn't know exactly why. They just did, kind of deal, and where other
Right.
tribes would experiment with different things. You could be right. They didn't really specify if there were anything different available for that area, they could do or what, or maybe. I mean, we're all products of the environment. Totally agree. So the documentary could be a little, misleading, just to make it more interesting for sure. But I thought it was interesting that these tribes just did almost how some they get information, where they just keep going with it and just
I
keep
know a
rolling with
joke
it.
based
Yeah.
on that.
Mhm. Huh.
Learning to cook teenager, watching mom prepare a ham, right? Getting
Mhm.
ready to cook it. Mom cuts off the end of the ham and throws it to the dogs. A good
Mm.
solid like 2 inches of it.
Mm.
And she says, well, Mom, why do you cut off the end of the ham? She goes, I don't know. Mom did that. So
Uh,
they call up Grandma and say, Grandma, why do we cut the end off the ham? She goes,
Mm.
hold on a second. Let me pull out my mom's diary. It's in there somewhere. So she flips through. She finds it. Let's see. Oh, the ham was longer than the pan.
Okay.
Midnight, I'm going to take over to present.
What? Are you leaving?
No, I'm taking over to present. I'll just let
Oh,
you know.
sorry. Yeah, never mind. I didn't
See,
hear.
the examples of coring that I mean, see, these circular striations show that it couldn't have been
Yes.
a typical, like, drill bit. It would have had to have been a coring bit. And
Right.
then this gives examples like, well, I guess this isn't that, though. Let's see. These are commercially available, but, this may have been how they did the new stuff that we're finding out.
I mean, it'd be
I
pretty
put in,
easy to drill through sandstone if you melted the cylinder and
uh-huh,
the last inch of the cylinder, or maybe even more than that, contained chips of flint.
Diamonds.
Or diamonds would be better if they had diamonds. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
see, here's another
Never
one of
heard
those
it.
toilets where you see all the striations, but there's no hole going down the middle of it.
Right.
But
So that's obvious core drilling.
and some of the things where they say it's pickaxes, but they were supposedly copper tools going up granite. How is soft copper chisel through hard granite? But yet, if you
Well,
made a bandsaw out of rope and then embed hard stuff in it, like
yeah.
sand or bits of some hard rock, and get going at high speed, then that'll cut through it. But they want to say that, oh, there's no evidence that there was any wheels back then. How would you even know?
Well, if the
And
wheels were made out of wood, no matter how well they were made, and to make anything of greater size, they probably would have used wood. And for that kind
Well,
of torque with that kind of technology, you would want very large wheels.
mhm.
Never
Well, they
mind the
have
size of the
things.
wheel is also the depth of your cut.
if they're using pulleys and rolling things on logs, there's a
That's
wheel right there.
that's where I was going. They have things in the Egyptian Museum that they call vases, but if you look at them, they're three-sided, and it's clearly either it looks like a flywheel for a pulley. So, I mean, to me, it's just obvious. Yeah, you had some sort of an animal that was pulling on one end, for the torque, and then there you
Yeah.
were using these pulleys to increase the speed, so like a team of oxen could get the thing spinning really quick.
Well, they also found. I'm not. Well, I know they found in South America and parts of Northern America. The time of the Incas and this and that. They said they didn't have the wheel. I'm not too sure about the Egyptians, but they found like pull along children's toys that rode on wheels. So obviously they knew what wheels were. It's just a matter if they needed them or not, and of course, the area. So, yeah.
I would think the last thing that something useful would end up would be on a child's toy. That would be like last priority.
But the other way to look at it is, and before you build something big, you're gonna want to make a model. So you might try it
Yeah.
out for, and then be like, okay, here, this works. Now we can upscale it.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
that's the reason for children's toys.
I think maybe it is.
Could be.
You make it small, get it right, and then when you make the actual one, you give the kid the mock up.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And then if you're teaching new generations how to do that kind of technique, you might want to have them practice on something small. like children's toys, so they get good at the technique before they
Right. Just like
fix
designing a
stuff.
vehicle, you
Right.
draw it first, you make a small model of it, and you go from there. Yep.
That's good practical use of materials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to waste a whole bunch of materials failing.
Right. Remember making that toothpick bridge in science class to see how much weight it could hold?
We never
I'm
did
sorry,
that.
popsicle sticks. We did.
In fact, I can't think of anything that we ever did like that.
Now the Pinewood Derby and Cub Scouts is the closest I came.
Oh, right on.
So what is that? 4-wheel cart, downhill, gravity.
Yeah, it's a little tiny. It's a block of wood that you start with, and then you got some axles and wheels to put through it,
Mm.
and it has to be within a certain weight, and then you shape it however you want, and you can drill out portions and put in. Can you put in lead weights, or is that prohibited?
The kit you could make your own, or the kit came with lead weights. Yeah, you could put the lead weights like where you want them. You know, some put them in the front because downhill, some put in the center. You know, I guess it's kind of just experimental, but it came with like 2 little lead weights. I remember that.
Yeah, I've always put two in the back of mine,
Mm.
and then in
I would think the only advantage you'd have in putting the weights in the front versus the rear is that it would steer straighter if the weights were in the front.
I just put the weights on like over where the axles would be to put it on top of each wheel in the front and back.
mm,
I didn't win though, so I don't.
I'm just saying it would steer straighter if the weights were in the front.
well, then that
Because
may be why they would win then,
Yeah,
because you're
gravity
not
pulling it.
having so much side to side.
Mm.
I had no clue what I was doing. I just put it in the back. Like, hey, these are higher up, more gravity potential.
I just made sure mine was red with the white stripe on it.
Yeah,
that
make sure it
would
goes
that would be
fast.
true once it came to the bottom of the slope.
Right, it evens out. Goes, yeah.
It would be the same all the way down the slope, and then when it changed
Well,
pitch, then it would make a difference.
I know what you're saying. That's pretty much what I was doing. It's since you start out on an incline, like you got
Yeah,
that extra couple of inches or whatever before it hits the bottom. So that's why I was trying to take advantage of that extra couple of inches.
yeah. I'd be a lot more concerned with the obvious tolerance difference between the drill hole for an axle and the axle itself, and that
Right,
there was no way to tighten that up and keep it smooth and running straight. So I would want the weight to be downhill because it would it would it would equal less turning.
right. That makes
I would
sense.
want the weights to be actually in front of the front axle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like rules on there about cheating. You couldn't use like oil or different parts or things like that. But I don't remember, or probably I don't know. But I wonder if you were to what's the term they use when they turn the wheels inward, so there's less riding on the tire itself. I forgot
It's canting or nose in.
caster, right? Or
It's canting is when
yeah,
it's.
okay, that's what it is, right? I wonder if you did that, like put them in a little bit. And then also, like I guess the alignment part, aim the front toe them in a little bit to make it straight, so it rides cleaner, so bouncing around. They don't teach you that kind of stuff though in Cub Scouts.
Canter is the wrong word, but it's so close, it's messing me up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it is because I mean you always do it.
I know this. I'm a mechanic. I'm a car mechanic. I know the answer to
Same
that question.
here.
I just can't think of it because I got this other word on my mind. But
'Cause they
they're
do a lot
horribly
with
close to each other.
Yeah, they use it. They do it a lot on the Asian type vehicles. You know, for that low look, they bring it in.
Okay, so the alignment to the frame and forward facing is
There's a
toe and heel.
toe in and toe out. Yeah, that's for the
It's toe
aiming
and
the.
heel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, dang, I'm stuck on Cantor. All my brain goes
I
Cantor's the
said
answer, and I know that's
I know, and Castor's
no,
not the right
that's
word
wrong.
either.
That's not it
I
either.
know it's not. That's why I'm like, quite. I know it's not right. So I have to look it up
I
now.
know this term.
Me too.
I know this freaking term.
I see it so many times in magazines, like lowrider magazines, and
Yeah. Yeah, low riders often put a top to bottom pitch, not 90,
right.
for greater stability and maneuverability, and because of all the tricks they do, especially lift kits, etc., pneumatic, hydraulic. Dang, I'm gonna have to look it up because my brain will not. I mean, I tried. My brain will not
same.
do
I'm
it.
gonna have to give up too. It's I know it's not. Yeah. So how would I start searching that too? Terminology.
Tire alignment terms. That's what I'm gonna enter.
Right on.
Camber, caster,
Camber.
and toe.
Camber. There it is.
There they are.
Okay. That's what. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Caster. I say caster. I got a new office chair today, so that's probably why that's on my head. His wheels are.
Oh my gosh. By the way, I've always had great success taking a piece of twine, hanging a piece of half-inch pipe longer than the tire is, is in diameter, and just hanging it on the outside of the tire and aligning the tires that way. Just looking down to the next tire. I've always had great success with that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, to line them up. Mm-hmm.
You just take a small, like a half-inch or 3/8 tube, make sure it's not bent, and just tie it to the center outside of the tire. Just line it up with the other tire. It's really pretty damned easy.
Yeah, I saw different videos and illustrations, but I never really aligned the tires myself. I always took them in and have them done, but I saw illustrations and different ways of doing it using, yeah. So one thing I never done was line the wheels on a car. We built a 904 transmission. That was kind of cool, from straight out of a Chilton's manual and a kit.
Man, my dad swore by Chiltons.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
I mean, I like Chiltons, but man, they get kind of mundane. Like,
yeah.
Chilton starts assuming you don't know anything about a car.
Yeah, they have the specs on every little thing for
Which
sure.
is great if you don't know anything, but it's a little bit little boring to find the stuff you actually want if you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah, the Chiltons I found really helpful. I mean, the Haynes manuals were good. A lot of illustrations and straight to it. The Chiltons I found were really handy if I needed torque specs. If they were like, different variations in engines and things like that for the different torque specs. And basically that mostly for torque specs on the Chiltons. Yeah.
I tell you, if you go by Chiltons, you got it right.
Yeah.
It'll be right.
The specs, the patterns, the recommendations, things like that.
Well,
the
another thing about Chiltons I didn't really appreciate is they expect you to have some kind of ridiculous tools that nobody has.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Bring out the double flanger with the spring loader. What? Something weird.
Yep. Like, who actually goes and buys the little plastic rods that you put between your camshaft and your piston arm so that when you compress it, it does flatten that rod to a certain thickness? Who the hell buys that? Man, have you ever bought one in your life?
I got a set of filler gauges.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. Yep. If I was, I've done a lot of mechanic
they expect
work.
you to go and buy those in a Chilton.
I've seen some of those tools, and this is the prices of those alone. It's like, yeah. Some are very handy to have. Yeah. Like a good pair of snap ring, pliers are good to have around, so you have to
Yeah.
fumble with that too much. Or
Yeah, but if you're expected to have a worm drive, hold on, I'm not done.
oh, I know.
A worm drive overlapping cylindrical sleeve that is driven by a, quarter-inch drive extension in order to compress your piston rings and oil seals, in order to put your piston head back into the engine.
Right.
Well, they're just expecting you to have specialty tools that most folks don't have.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna get a freaking sleeve compressor to mount it.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I
Big
worked in
pair
places
of
that had those
channel
specialty
locks.
tools. Oh,
You know,
good. Oh, you
big
gotta
pair
have a
of
good pair
channel
of channel
locks and a
locks.
rubber mallet. That works
Yep.
just fine too.
Oh heck yeah, yeah. Gotta have channel locks, man. That's a must. Got my big blue handled set. Measures about almost freaking foot and a half. It goes.
See, they're not only channel locks; they're channel lock brand. I can tell by the color.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta get channel
They're
lock.
baby
It's
blue.
like when I
That's
buy
channel lock
electrical
brand.
tools, I gotta get the Klein. I always get Klein brand tools when I do.
Klein is
electricals.
the only. I got a Klein sitting right here on my desk.
I got Klein. I got a pair of Klein freaking strippers that I've had for so many years, and it's just as good as when I bought them.
Why? Yeah. Well, why would you replace them? They never fail.
Right? Yeah. I'm always about quality, man. I don't like that. I hate those cheap, tool. I can't stand cheap tools when I'm working.
Let's see.
I tell you.
RCHT Stubby Multi Tool by Klein. It's got 3 different size hex, 2 different size Phillips, and 2 different size flat and reversible ratchet. And the whole
Sweet.
thing's only 3 inches long.
Nice.
So it really fits into some really snug places where nothing else fits.
I tell you, I was doing networking, and I had a pair for Cat 5 cabling and for phone lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Never failed. It had everything you needed in there to just wire it right up. They even had a color. If you're new at, they even had a little color diagram on the handles too. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Do you have
Klein. That sounds German. I don't know where it's made or.
you have machine? Do you have machine screw trimming on it?
Machine screw.
Does it have the threaded holes
for the networking?
Near the pivot point of the plier? Does it have threaded holes and clearance holes?
I don't know. I gotta go to the shed and check it out. Is that for like clipping small bolts and stuff? I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's
I
a
think
bolt
it does.
cutter.
It might.
What did mine go up to? I think it's from number 12 all the way down to a number 6 screw. Maybe number 4. No, number 4 screw.
I'm pretty. I think it. I never used that before.
Oh shoot! I've used them all. I use them all
Really?
the time, especially with these quote unquote screwless face plates, where you need a screw that literally has 2 threads on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For trims and stuff, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. You put a screwless face plate over top of tile, and you need that screw to have 2 threads.
Yeah, because it holds up by magnet, right, or something like that. I remember putting them on my brother. My brother has some of those in his house.
No, the adapters, well, at least the ones I buy, the face plate has no apparent screws, but it clips on to a back plate. And
Yeah, clips
that
out,
back plate, the screw penetration has to be the same as the thickness of the outlet plate. It has to be literally 2 threads.
Wow. Do you put like Loctite on there?
Yeah, try to buy a screw that only has 2 threads.
Do you put Loctite or something to hold it in there? That sounds kind of.
It's not a bad idea.
Or some drop of
I'm a big proponent of Loctite myself.
Yeah, I always keep it handy. I keep blue and red because you never know. Yep.
Oh yeah, everyone that I meet who doesn't know what Loctite is, I tell them about it because
Right
remember when we were kids, we had to put up with lock washers.
Yep.
And
oh yeah, yep.
Oh my gosh, and ridged washers that don't really work. None of that actually works. But you put a little bit of Loctite red on something, guess what? When you come back, it's still there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to knock it loose. Yep. Yeah. When I found out about that when I was a kid, when I was working on bicycles, I was like, those small screws in the back for where the gears are for for the back shifter. It just came in so handy because those things always falling apart,
The
shaking loose, and
shifter adjustment screw,
right,
like
the adjustment had those two
the limit
sprockets in the back,
screws.
always falling apart. Yeah. When I was a kid, one of my first gigs I did was like around seventh, eighth grade. Was
Yeah.
repairing bicycles. I had so many parts and shit, and I had kids would come by, new cables, handles, wrappings on their handlebars. Those kids didn't know how to do anything. I was like $5, $10, $12. Wasn't bad.
When
We're
I
like
when
best
I
friends
was
in the
your
bicycle
same
shop.
age, when I was that same age, my dad was a woodworker, so I had a wood lathe in the garage. Well,
Sweet.
garage is a fancy word. In the shack,
Yeah.
but there was a wood lathe out there in the shack, and I started making. I think I was using 4 ounces of lead, and I had availability of cured hardwood, and braided twine. So I was making nunchucks for people, custom nunchucks,
Sweet.
custom colored,
Nice.
lead weighted. I didn't do ball bearings. You had to pay extra for ball bearings.
Nice.
I could order the chain ball bearing set online and make the wood piece to fit it. I could do that, but it was like an extra $10, and no one wanted to pay the extra $10. So I just went with a traditional, with woven rope and a traditional tie.
It's pretty sweet though.
Yeah, I made lots of them. Sold them $20 each, which
Nice.
for me back then was a lot of money. Yeah, but I made myself a pair, red oak, 4 ounces of lead, which I liquefied the lead and poured it in. I didn't hammer it in. And
Nice.
had a steel 55-gallon drum. And all it did to those nunchucks, and I beat the crap out of that drum. I mean, I put dents in it 6 inches deep. And all it did to the nunchucks was put shiny spots on the wood.
Nice. That's some hard ass wood.
Red oak, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't hit it hard enough to break them.
Good quality wood. I could really appreciate that. When I was a kid, I was working at a trophy shop. I was in charge of shadow boxes and plaques, and I cannot tell you how cheap the wood is. When a customer order a good piece of quality walnut plaque, I'm like, finally, it's something I could work with. Otherwise, I have to be super careful. I got a black marker to touch up, and it's always chipping, denting, putty.
I tell you what, I don't know if you've tried North American ash. Have you done any work with North American ash?
I believe so. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've done officers.
That is the hardest damn wood. That is the most dense wood I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I had to use that one because we were doing in the Navy. They have, I guess, like officers have a book they have to keep in a box.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to make that box themselves, I guess, or something like that. And they put emblems on it. But anyway, we were making the boxes and laser engraving whatever they wanted on there, plus put like Navy emblems or whatever they want, So that I remember using that ash for that because it was a thin wood but super hard, and they recommended that ash. Yeah, light color, right? Like
ash is
like real fibrous too. You can see right on.
I mean, you look at the end of a piece of ash and you cut it with a saw, and it already looks like you sanded it. It's that damn dense.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why I think of bamboo when I was working with it, because of the way it looked in a weird way. Just how maybe the fibrous part of it. We would order some bamboo wood plaques, and they had that almost same kind of look to it when you cut them or work with them. Little yellower in color though, the bamboo wood. We'll offer them, for keeping it green. Charge like $20 extra. Get the bamboo plaque and save the earth.
That's a scam.
Oh, definitely is. Yeah.
I mean, bamboo is grass.
Yeah. Well, not only that, like each individual plaque came wrapped in plastic. They came layered in styrofoam. You know what I mean? It was like
So much for saving the earth. You just made you
Right,
just
yeah,
wasted a
delivered on the
pound
truck
of
next to the other
plastic.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
Oh,
if
my
it's so
dog-
good, why didn't you wrap it in bamboo?
Exactly. Yeah, bring us some hemp bags and some hemp boxes or something. I don't know. Save the earth. I'll be back. I gotta take my dog out. She's whining.
Hmm. So how we doing, fellas?
Better than I deserve.
Getting,
What was that?
I'm getting tired.
Of what?
Just sleepy.
Oh, okay. I get tired of being awake too long.
Well, anyways, this has actually been the first stream I've had in a while. It's actually gone the 3 hours and a half. I'm impressed. But so thanks for stopping by, and we will end the stream. I mean, not ourselves. Oh, look who's back.
Yeah, dog
Anyways,
back. She changed her mind. It's raining too hard. She just turned
yeah.
right back around.
Yeah.
Anyways, have a nice day.
Thanks for letting me on your show.
Yep. Stick around, actually, but I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. But there we go. Bye.